list. Jesus criminy. What the fuck is wrong? Anyway, so let's try to get 20 people in here, but I probably will start before 20 people. Where did Nick go? Because I tend to. A Buzzsprout will post too. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll check that out. I might even have to ask you again what you said later because I'm old and feeble. That's okay. Thanks, Tahir. I appreciate it. You guys, Tahir is amazing. She makes sure that I get live up over on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube. Good morning, all the tubers out there. I hope that you guys are, I don't know, hanging 10 and catching a tube. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I could say what Mezzo says. Hi, tube steaks. I don't know. But we're glad you're here, and thank you for being here. I'm working hard to raise enough money to get myself a new computer so that I can also have a way for people over on YouTube to join in the conversation. Catching a tube is diabolical. Wait, like, isn't that what it's called when you're surfing? Like you catch a tube, like for surfing? Like, I don't know. Do you catch a tube? What do you do when you're surfing? Because you definitely do something like to go through the tube. I don't know. I was trying to think of California terms, but I also don't surf, so maybe I should stay in my lane. I don't know. Hey, Shadow. Also, if you're friendly and you want to come up and hang out, the guest box is open. But if you are a believer, we've got 3 topics today. Christians don't believe in miracles. Why should women be Christians? And I'm an atheist. Let's go question for question. But in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and read today's anti-sermon. You can listen to these back as the podcast comes out. The first one is Eve. It'll drop on Wednesday, and I'll probably put some bonus episodes out because I end up having so many of them because I do a couple a week. And so I end up having more than one a week, but I'm only dropping one a week right now. I don't want to lock myself into having to drop 2 a week. Does that make sense? Like that's too much pressure on me.
Yeah, so you gotta commit to what you know you can do.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying. And then,
exactly.
If I can, I'll drop a bonus one now and then to catch up because I end up having so many. Thank you so much, Grandma Xana, for the gift. I really appreciate it. All your support is helping me upgrade my equipment. So thank you so much for the gift, Grandma. I appreciate you so much. I love you too. You're amazing.
And we need 5 more ice cream cones.
Yes, you guys, let's get those ice cream cones up. Also, let's see, what else? Let's see. So, tomorrow I'm going to be on Stationhead. So I won't be, well, I might go live after Stationhead. It depends on, like I said, I also need to work on the Valentine's Day thing over on the Deconstruction Junction. So I got a lot of things going on this week. So I don't know that I'll be able to go live after Stationhead. But if I can, I'll let you guys know. But let's not plan on it. Let's plan on being over at Stationhead. Go download the app. It's absolutely free. Come hang out with Mama Bash and I. She is Yaya BB. So it's YAYABEEB over on Stationhead. And she is going to play my songs. We're going to talk about them and hang out together like an old-fashioned VH1 radio, kind of interview thing.
So does that air live or
good
is
to see you.
Recorded?
It airs live, and then you can listen to it later if you can't make it to the live. You can on Stationhead. You can listen to our previous episodes as well. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm really excited. Good to see everybody. Ursa May, welcome in. Robin, welcome in. Silly Goose, welcome in. Everybody is so good to see you guys. I'm about to get started with the anti-sermon. I'd love to get 6 more people in here. So if you could send it out to a few more friends. Thank you for the 5,000 likes and the 100 shares. That is really important that we do those always as quickly as possible. That helps me get boosted out to FYP. I don't have any restrictions yet, but I got 2 yesterday in record time, so I don't know that I won't get them. Hey, Zach, how are you? Good to see you. Zach Laser Hoffman, everyone. Your heart matters. I can't do it like him. His voice is so silky and caramely smooth.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can do it like he does.
No. I don't think so. If they could, they would also be out there, reading books and stuff, being a voice actor. So, hey, Mama Bash, how are you? Good to see you. You are more than welcome up. I'm going to be doing my anti-sermon here. We are going to be talking about the daughters of the land today. That is our sermon for today. So let me go and pull that up. If you ever want a sneak peek at what I'm going to do, my anti-sermons are posted in my Discord before I go live because that's where I read them from. It's from my Discord. Hi, Mama Bash. How are you?
I am doing well, Crystal. How are you?
I'm doing well. I sent you a message. If you want, I would love it if you were my video as the person who's laughing at the end. Let me know if you want to do that because I like that. Wouldn't that be great if you're just cracking up at the end of the video?
I would be happy to do that. I'll get back to show me what to do.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Hi, Tony. How are you today?
Hey, ladies. I'm doing fine. I hope you are too.
I'm doing well. I'm about to do my anti-sermon. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about today, though, before I get into it?
No, I just wanted to say hi. Thank you for your service to humanity.
I really appreciate you, Tony. You're always so positive, and you always make my day. Whenever I see you talk, whenever I hear you speak, you always have something very nice to say, and I really appreciate you.
I mean, it fills my heart with joy to see people reaching out and talking about this, subjects. Deconstructing by myself over a decade ago was not easy, and I'm just glad that a lot of people are benefiting from you and others that are doing the job of exposing things so they can think about things critically and make a better decision now that they got full function of their frontal lobe.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you guys. Well, we're gonna get started. Keep sharing out the live, tapping the screen. If you can, and you haven't sent me an ice cream cone, please do so. I just need 4 more to reach the flash goal, and they're only 1 coin each. So if you can send me just 1 ice cream cone, please do so. We're gonna go ahead now to Genesis 34:1. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Tony. I muted you. Did you have one more thing to say? I'm sorry. I'm going to mute.
Will you be okay? Can you drop me down so that the algorithm doesn't give you a bad check mark because I leave? Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'll still be here giving you likes and stuff.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you follow Tony. Tony is an amazing member of the community and super supportive. Hang on. We got one more person. Marquez, I'll bring you up after I'm done with the anti-sermon, okay? And then we can talk to you, okay? Today we're going to start in Genesis 34:1. Now, I'm going to say her name correctly today because I used the name Dinah the last time we spoke because I was also referencing other women who spell their name the same way, but because the American pronunciation is Dinah, to keep the continuity the same, I called her Dinah the entire time. But the Hebrew pronunciation of the name Dinah is actually Dina. And so I'm going to be saying Dina today, but it's the same person, okay? Genesis 34:1, Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. Here they are. A single line, a single phrase, the daughters of the land. A group of women mentioned so briefly it would be easy to pass right over them, and most people do. We don't know their names. We don't know how many there were. We don't know their ages, their families, their stories, their joys, or their griefs. And it is an understatement to say that what we don't know about them far outweighs what we do know about them. But here is what the text does tell us. They are women. They are daughters. They are of the land. The Hebrew phrase translates the daughters of the land is Benot Haaretz. Benot or Benot, I could be saying it wrong. I have not learned Hebrew yet. That's something I'd like to do this year. I'd like to start taking Hebrew lessons. So excuse me if my pronunciation is not correct, but that means daughters, plural, feminine. It's spelled B''N''O'. And then Haaretz is H-A-R-E-T-Z, the land. This phrase does not imply prostitution, immorality, or rebellion. It simply identifies these women as local women, daughters belonging to the land where they live. They are defined geographically, not morally. Relationally, not sexually. Collectively, not individually. The text assigns them no guilt, no danger, and no warning. They are only women who exist outside of Dinah's father's household. Well, when does something like that stop men from demonizing women? This is where later interpretation steps in. Rabbinic tradition does not leave the daughters of the land neutral for long. In Genesis, Rabbah, and later in commentators like Rashi, Dinah's action of going out is treated as the beginning of the problem. The focus quietly shifts away from what was done to her and toward the fact that she left her father's household at all. Dinah is described as going out to see the daughters of the land. Leah is retroactively criticized for going out. In an earlier story, the movement of women becomes suspicious. Not because the text says it is, but because later interpreters decide it should be. The daughters of the land begin to function as a warning. They are treated as bad influence, as a dangerous social world, as women who represent assimilation, temptation, and moral risk. And yet nothing about them actually changes. They still do not speak. They still do nothing. They still commit no wrongdoing. Their only crime is that Dinah wanted to be with them. In rabbinic tradition, the danger is not violence. The danger is visibility. The danger is women leaving the spaces men control. Targum tradition, which is Aramaic. In the Hebrew text, Dinah goes out to see the daughters of the land, but in Targum, Jonathan, an Aramaic interpretive translation, the line is expanded. It turns see the daughters of the land into something like to see the manners, to see the customs, to see the ways. This is an interpretive move. It shifts the daughters of the land from being simply women Dinah wanted to meet into a cultural and moral threat. Not prostitutes, not criminals, not villains, but their ways, their customs, their manners. In other words, the danger becomes social influence, assimilation, exposure, women learning from other women. Midrash that builds the blame frame. In rabbinic tradition, Dinah's going out becomes suspicious. Some midrash links Dinah's going out to Leah's earlier going out and treats it like a pattern. The logic becomes Leah went out, so Dinah went out. So something bad happened. That is not the plain meaning of the Hebrew text. It is tradition taking a neutral action and turning it into a warning. And notice what this does to the daughters of the land. They do not speak. They do not act. They are not accused of anything specific. But they become the symbol of what Dinah should have avoided: women outside the patriarchal household, women outside male supervision, women as influence. The daughters of the land become the risk without ever doing anything wrong. To see becomes to be seen. Some rabbinic tradition does not leave Dinah's to see alone. It turns it into she wanted to be seen. And it frames the outing as immodesty or roaming instead of sisterhood or community. This turns the daughters of the land into a temptation space, a place where women become visible, a place where men feel their control weakening. Again, the daughters of the land are not given names or voices. They are used as a setting where a warning gets preached. And rabbinic tradition is not the only place where this story gets handled by men this way. When we move outside the Hebrew Bible into the extra biblical writings, Second Temple retellings, and texts preserved in other canons, something interesting happens. The daughters of the land are still there, but they are never allowed to become more. They are reshaped, they are used, they are redirected, or they quietly disappear altogether. Not because they suddenly mattered less, but because their presence raised questions these traditions did not want to answer. So before we ever get to Christian teachings, we need to pay attention to how these women were treated. I think I kind of messed up in my editing, and I'll have to go back through, but we're going to talk about Targum again because I think I edited it and put it in two places. But in the Hebrew text, Dinah goes out to see the daughters of the land. But in Targum, Jonathan, he turns it into seeing the daughters of the land, which I just told you about. So we're going to move on to Josephus. I'm sorry. Josephus retells the story and adds details that are not in Genesis. He says Shechemites were keeping a festival. He says Dinah was Jacob's only daughter. He says she went into the city to see the finery of the women of that country. That is not a paraphrase. That is an interpretation. It turns the daughters of the land into spectacle, into a public scene, into something that can be framed as curiosity and risk. The daughters are still not villains, but their presence becomes aesthetic, social, public, tempting. They are still a device, a way of explaining why a girl would leave home, and a way of making the movement feel dangerous. Jubilees, the Ethiopian canon. The book of Jubilees retells the Dinah story in a way that shifts emphasis. In Jubilees 30, Dinah is described as a child, 12 years old, and the story is framed as abduction and defilement. Jubilees does not linger on the daughters of the land. It does not expand them. It does not give them agency or blames. That matters because Jubilees is a text that loves purity, boundaries, and moral instruction. If the daughters of the land were the moral threat, this is exactly the kind of text that would have said so. Instead, it shifts attention to the violence and the boundary politics, not women's social contact. This is a quiet contradiction of the victim blame frame. What is missing is the point. Across Midrash and extra biblical retellings, the daughters of the land stay faceless. Nobody tells us who they were. Nobody lets them speak. Nobody wonders what they saw. Nobody asks what Dinah hoped for. Nobody imagines sisterhood. They're used as a setting, a symbol, a warning, a mechanism. And that is the deeper pattern. Women are allowed to exist but not matter, not to bond, not to form a world with each other that men do not control. When Christian teaching takes up this story, it largely inherits that same anxiety. The daughters of the land remain unnamed. They remain silent. They remain undefined. But they're no longer neutral. In much of Christian interpretation, they become worldly women, women outside the covenant, women outside proper influence, women who represent temptation, curiosity, and danger. Dinah's act of going out is treated as a moral lesson, a warning, a failure of protection, a lapse of modesty, a lack of discernment. The daughters of the land are rarely discussed directly. Instead, they function as the environment where something bad happens. Christian teaching often frames the story like this. If Dinah had stayed home, she would have been safe. If she had not gone out, this would not have happened. If she had not mixed with other women, the danger would have been avoided. That logic does not come from the text. It comes from the same instinct we saw earlier. Control the movement, control the contact, control the influence. And once again, the problem is not violence. The problem is women leaving the spaces men supervise. This is the same logic that later shows up in Christian instructions about women's behavior. Women are told not to speak, not to teach, not to lead, not to gather without oversight. Women are warned about other women, about bad influence, about dissatisfaction, about comparison. Because when women talk to women, they notice things. They notice imbalance. They notice hypocrisy. They notice abuse. They notice how much they are asked to carry. Christian teaching rarely asks why Dina might have wanted the company of other women. It assumes the desire itself was the mistake. And so the daughters of the land become part of a familiar pattern. Women used as a cautionary backdrop. Women reduced to influence. Women blamed without ever being named. Silence was never about order. It was about control. Again and again, scripture and tradition return to the same solution when women become inconvenient. Silence them. Women are told not to speak in church, not to teach, not to lead, not to question, not to correct. They are told to ask their husbands at home to stay within approved channels, to keep their voices private. And we are usually told this was about order, about peace, about respect, about not causing confusion. But the explanation only works if we never ask the obvious questions. What were women saying? Because silence is never enforced unless speech is doing something dangerous. Women speaking to other women compare experience. They notice patterns. They notice hypocrisy. They notice imbalance. They notice abuse. They notice who benefits. And once women begin saying those things out loud, authority feels threatened. So the problem is framed as disorder, as impropriety, as rebellion, as temptation, as influence, just like it was with the daughters of the land. Women talking to women is never treated as neutral. It is treated as something that must be managed, supervised, and shut down. Hey, Godless Engineer. You guys, Godless is going to be on my show on Sunday at 11 a.m. So make sure you are following Godless. Not because it leads to chaos, not because it leads to clarity. And this is why silence has always been enforced so aggressively. Because when women refuse it, things change. This is Black History Month, and it feels important to say plainly that some of the clearest examples of this come from Black women who refused to stay quiet when silence was demanded of them. Black women who spoke when the church told them not to, who spoke when movements told them to wait, who spoke when men told them their voices were disruptive, divisive, or out of order. Sojourner Truth refused to stay silent in spaces where Black women were expected to disappear. When she stood up and asked, "Ain't I a woman?" she exposed how both racism and sexism worked together to erase Black women's humanity. Her voice challenged men who wanted women quiet and movements that wanted Black women invisible. She spoke anyway. Ida B. Wells spoke openly about sexual violence, especially the lies used to justify lynching. She told the truth when silence would have been safer, and she paid for it with threats, exile, and danger. She understood that silence protected abusers, not victims, and she refused to participate in that protection. Fannie Lou Hamer told the truth about brutality, voter suppression, and terror in her own body and voice when she testified about the violence she endured. She broke the expectation that Black women should suffer quietly. Her courage came from speaking plainly about what power wanted hidden. Hey, twin. Ella Baker challenged male-centered leadership in civil rights movements and insisted that ordinary people, especially women, speak for themselves. She believed strong movements were built through shared voices, not charismatic men at the top. Her work reminded us that liberation grows when women organize together. Audre Lorde taught that silence is not safety. She named how fear keeps women quiet and how speaking, even imperfectly, is an act of survival. She understood that when women share language for their pain and their power, systems built on silence begin to crack. These women were not silent because silence was never neutral. Silence was always a demand made by people who benefited from it. And when Black women spoke anyway, the world shifted. Not because they were allowed to speak, but because they refused to stop. The fear did not stop in ancient texts. It became policy, it became advice, it became wisdom. Women are still warned about other women. Married women are told to be careful around single women. Women are told to not go out too much, not to complain, not to compare, not to listen to women who might make them dissatisfied. Isolation is framed as protection. Control is framed as love. Suspicion is framed as concern. A husband who discourages his wife from close friendships with other women is often described as protective. A church that limits women's voices is described as orderly. A system that keeps women busy, tired, isolated, and quiet is described as God's design. But the effect is always the same. Women are separated from one another. Women are denied language for what they are experiencing. Women are taught to believe their discomfort is personal instead of structural. Because when women talk to women, something shifts. They realize they are not alone. They realize the rules are not evenly applied. They realize the burden is not shared. They realize what they have been calling failure is actually survival. This is why women's friendships are treated with suspicion. This is why sisterhood is framed as dangerous. This is why going out is still treated as a problem. Not because women become reckless, not because women become aware. So let us return to the daughters of the land. The women who never spoke, the women who never acted, the women who never did anything wrong, the women who were still turned into a warning. They were not named, they were not described, they were not condemned by the text, they were simply there. Women living their lives. Women outside a patriarchal household, women who existed in community with each other. And that was enough for tradition to grow nervous, enough for interpretation to turn suspicious, enough for a neutral sentence to become a cautionary tale. The daughters of the land are never punished in this story, but they are never allowed to matter either. They exist as a reminder of what Dina was not supposed to want: connection, companionship, sisterhood. And for centuries, this story has been used to teach women the same lesson. Do not go out, do not gather, do not talk too much, do not listen to other women, do not compare notes, do not realize you are not alone. Because once women begin to find each other, the silence breaks. And when the silence breaks, the system is exposed. So today we refuse the warning. We refuse to turn to the daughters of the land. We refuse to turn the daughters of the land into a threat. We refuse to treat sisterhood as dangerous. We refuse to believe that women finding each other leads to ruin. Instead, we tell the truth. Women talking to women has always been the beginning of clarity. Women gathering has always been the beginning of change. Women refusing silence has always been the beginning of liberation. The daughters of the land were never the problem. They were the possibility. And we are still going out to find each other. And I'm glad you found me. But now I want you to find more women. I want you to go out to the daughters of the land. Go look at my follow list. Find 10 women there that you are not following and go follow them. I love smart, funny, courageous women. And if you like my content, I think you do too. They told us the daughters of the land were dangerous. They gave us no evidence. We are the daughters of the land. And we should talk and we should share stories and we should learn from each other. And if you are not following me yet, now would be a great time to remedy that. Never let them shut us up. And that is my anti-sermon for today. Any comments or questions?
That's beautiful, Crystal.
Thank you. We should get more dangerous, Tris.
I don't know if I told you, but I was on Apostate Apes show the other day, and I had a pastor come up and tell me that I was bald-headed and I needed to not speak because women are not allowed to speak.
Yeah, wow.
2026. Can you believe that?
2026.
Yep.
They're so threatened. It's ridiculous. Like, these men are so threatened by an intelligent woman. They're so threatened. Thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah, my comment was, you said like women, sisterhood is not dangerous, and I like to say we can be dangerous. That's the problem. We are dangerous to their need to oppress us, their need to silence us. We are dangerous. So yeah, that was my only critique.
Yep.
Hi, is it off?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, and are you a believer?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, and are you over the age of 18?
Yeah, I am.
All right. Which topic would you like to do today? We have Christians don't believe in miracles. Why should women be Christians? Or I'm an atheist. Let's go question for question.
You want to go question for question, or I can just pick one?
Sure. Let's go question for question. If you like, you can start if you want.
Christians don't believe in miracles. I think we do, to some extent. I think everyone believes in miracles, actually, including atheists.
So do you want to do one, or do you want to do question for question?
I guess we could just do 3. Why not? Okay. Yeah, I guess.
All right, so go ahead and ask me a question.
Where do you believe things like knowledge and universals and things like that? Where do you think they're grounded? In the atheistic worldview, obviously.
You mean logic?
Yeah, like logic.
I don't think knowledge is grounded.
Okay,
I think knowledge is something we obtain. But I think that without a human mind, logic is only a concept. So I don't think it exists outside a mind. I don't think it's grounded in anything.
Okay, so do you think logic would follow if minds didn't exist?
There would be no reason for them to. Like, who would be talking about it if there wasn't a mind?
So it would be things like logically possible things, like the way they, like, if there was no mind to see, I don't know, a tree falling or something like that, the tree would still fall in a reasonably logic way based on different factors that are still existent within the realms of reality.
I think that logic is a thing that exists, but the laws of logic are something that we came up with to explain something that already just exists naturally in nature. So now it's my turn to ask you a question, because I've answered a few actually. So we're gonna go question for question.
Can I repeat that really quick, or do you want to ask me?
No, I'll ask you a question, and then if you want to say something to what I said, you can come back with that.
Okay, go ahead.
So what do you do with all the horrific Bible verses in the Bible? What do you do with those?
But do I look at them and read them and analyze them? But what do you want me to do with them?
Like, how do you worship a God who in the Bible clearly shows you that how do you justify the things that he does and says in the Bible that are heinous?
So how do I justify them? I justify them because, and this is a very okay, so how do I justify them? So I justify them by looking at the alternative options than believing in um God. So if I were to like yeah, I'm not gonna go into too deeply with it, but I just look at everything that's alternative to doing that.
Okay. What's your question, or what do you want to?
Yeah,
What's your
so
next thing?
yeah, so what you said before, you said that logic is something that's grounded in a mind, yet you said it's something we came up with in order to ground what was already existent.
Yeah, what
That's
the
a
laws of logic are how we explain something that already existed
So
through
logic already
language.
existed. We just came up with language
Hmm?
to explain it.
Same
Yeah, I
with
don't think she
math.
said
I
they're
think that
grounded in a mind. Right,
No,
Crystal?
I
You didn't
didn't.
say they're grounded in a mind.
no.
You said they don't
Yeah.
come from concepts that are within your mind.
No, I said that's why I'm clarifying. I believe the laws of logic exist, like they just are. That's just what they are. But we explain them by calling them the laws of logic. No, the trees don't call it the laws of logic.
Right.
We do. That's a language we use to describe something that already exists. Just like we describe ocean, it exists. We call it an ocean.
Okay. So where do
That's
you
how we describe it.
Okay, so where do you think where do you believe that things like consciousness comes from?
Consciousness is our brain. That's why if I knock you out, you go unconscious, because I affect your brain.
Right. So do
But
you
now it's my
believe
turn.
Okay,
It's
go
my
ahead.
turn now.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you said that you look at the alternatives, and that's how you justify it, is you go, there is nothing better, so that's how I justify it. So I want to read to you in Numbers 30.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
I've
you can tell me what the alternative is to this that should help
Okay.
me understand
Okay.
that, okay?
That's valid. Go ahead.
Okay, we're in Numbers 30. We're going to start in 1. I'm going to stop at 5, and I'll just tell you what 6 says, because it basically says the same thing. It's just going to be about husbands instead of dads, okay? And I don't feel like reading all those, but if for some reason we need to, I will, but you'll get the gist, okay? Then Moses said to the heads of the tribes of the Israelites, "This is what the Lord has commanded. When a man makes a vow to the Lord or swears an oath to bind himself by a pledge." Hang on, I need to let my kitty in my room. He's at the door. I don't know if you guys heard that. Come on in, Quincy. Come on. I don't know if you guys could hear him scratching. That's how he knocks on the door. Okay, sorry. Then Moses said to the heads of the tribes of the Israelites, "This is what the Lord has commanded. When a man makes a vow to the Lord or swears an oath to bind himself by a pledge, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. When a woman makes a vow to the Lord or binds herself by a pledge while within her father's house in her youth, and her father hears of her vow or her pledge by which she has bound herself, and says nothing to her, then all her vows shall stand, and any pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if her father expresses disapproval to her at the time that he hears of it, no vow of hers and no pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand, and the Lord will forgive her because her father had expressed to her his disapproval." And then goes on to say the same thing about your husband. So what it's saying is that if I make a vow to God or to anyone, and my dad or my husband doesn't like it, they can just disavow my vow. They can just take away the words I said. This means that I, as a woman, I do not have free will. There is a hierarchy. It starts with God, then man, then women. I do not find this to be an all-loving God if I am not treated equally with men. And if my own words are not mine, then I am not free. So you said you just go to the alternative. What's the alternative to that? Because for me, the alternative is speaking my mind and not having any husband or father taking away my words.
Yeah, so the alternative to that would be in this scenario, let's just say that you have like a husband or whatever. And let's just say you live, I don't know, you live in a a country where, I mean, countries with no specific law established still exist today. So, and it's all around the world. The world is not just America. We can all agree with that. So, if we were to take that, you were to fall in love, whatever, have a husband, and that husband can physically torture you, in horrendous ways, absolutely. And it wouldn't be morally wrong because he's stronger than you. He has a monopoly of force on you because if you're an atheist, you have no grounding or source for morality. So that would be the opposite to a rule set by
Who
God.
told you that? That's so silly.
Yeah,
Nobody has any grounding for morality because until a
exactly.
Christian
So
can
that's the
prove their,
alternative for it. There you go.
but that's not the alternative.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
ridiculous. That is not the alternative. No, it's not. I live in America. The alternative is my
Yeah,
husband.
America. America's not the world. Come on.
Right.
Right. America's
But
like not
you're
even
acting like
50%.
that's a dichotomy. That's a false dichotomy.
What?
Do you know what a false dichotomy is?
Like you're saying specifically
Saying
if you
that,
live in America?
no, listen to me.
Go
The
ahead.
false dichotomy is saying that I either live under God's rules where a husband or a man can take away the very words I say, or I live in a third world country where I could be beaten up by my husband. Those are not the two choices I have.
Yeah, so
Those are
that
not
though
the
no,
two
absolutely
choices.
not. Absolutely, definitely no. Those are definitely not the two choices you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm taking even if you live in America, it quite frankly doesn't matter. You could even if you don't have a husband. Let's just say you don't have a husband. Whatever vow or in the specific example that you gave, if you gave a vow, the husband can take it away within a day. And your vow wouldn't mean anything, so therefore you wouldn't have free will. But the alternative to that would be we can go deeper because we can obviously say that torture and things of that sort are worse than vows. So a man could quite literally beat you up, torture you, enslave you, and none of those things would even be wrong. There would be no justice or there would be no morality in a sense of that. So that's the alternative, which is
That
completely
is
way
not
worse.
the alternative.
Yeah, which is
Yeah, I
completely
don't
way worse.
understand how that's the alternative. Can you explain how you're getting that that's the alternative? That
That's
makes
the
no sense.
alternative because I'll tell you. Okay, so let me explain how that's the alternative. That's the alternative to if you were to say like if you were to give the exact same situation like someone's a woman's vow can be taken away like with free or whatever. The alternative to that would be I can say something way worse, but that's clearly a rule set in place for a reason. But
Okay,
yeah.
you just
How do
restated
you
what you
know?
just said. You're not explaining how
Yeah.
it's the alternative. You just restated it.
It's the
Let me
alternative
explain
because
to you what
okay,
really is the
yeah.
alternative. The real alternative is that I speak my fucking mind and no man gets to tell me what the fuck to say. That's the actual fucking
No.
alternative.
Okay.
And that, yes,
Why
it
are
is.
you so
The
angry?
alternative
I
is
didn't say no.
because you're like totally kidding it. Like it's driving me crazy that you're saying the alternative is I either do what God
The-
tells me to do here or I have some man beat
I
the
didn't tell
shit
you
out
that.
of me. You keep saying, oh, yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You
I didn't
guys,
say you
did
have to
he
follow
not say
that.
a little while ago?
I never
But
said
that's
that.
what we're
Yeah, you
talking about,
literally
dude.
just
What are
said
you
is
talking
the
about?
alternative. The alternative to
So
Christianity
yeah, so
is
no,
being beat
no,
by a man.
okay, so here. This is okay, so let me explain how that's the alternative. The alternative to that is you said you can I guess speak your mind and not confine to a man or a god, sure. That's the alternative in your mind, right? But the alternative in reality is whatever you speak, whatever, sure, you can do whatever you want, sure, do whatever you want. That's the alternative to I guess following God's rules. I mean, sure, we can all agree with that. Like, yeah, the alternative to not following a rule is I mean, the alternative to following a rule is not following it. That's logically sound. So I don't understand like I'm like the alternative that I would take though is that there would be no punishment or there would be no justice or there would be no yeah, I can speak whatever I want, but who's to say that nothing can happen to me if I speak whatever I want? That's the alternative that I don't want to go down,
Okay,
right?
so you do realize that there are countries and nations that are not religious, and people aren't
Okay.
just
So what does that have to do with
unaliving people
anything?
on the streets.
What does that
So
have to
that's
do with
not the
anything?
alternative.
That has nothing
Because
to do
you
with
can't.
anything. I never said you didn't. I never said you didn't have to be. Sure, you can be an atheist and you can be a quote unquote good person. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that being a good person doesn't have any being a good or bad person doesn't have grounding. You can be whatever you want to whoever you want, because at the end of it, everything is meaningless. So if I were to go grape and torture a woman, that would be perfectly fine.
That's not true that everything is meaningless. Where do you guys get this
So where do you
stuff?
get meaning from? Where's meaning in an atheist worldview?
From other human beings. You mean
From
something
other.
We
So
to
have,
if
me. I can't. Excuse me. Wait. You asked me a question. Let me answer
okay,
to its
go ahead.
fullest.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I wake up and I have relation with family, with friends, with community. And those people mean something to me in a real tangible way, not an imaginary in my heart somewhere way. Okay. They're right there. They're real. Okay. And every day they give meaning to my life. And I hopefully give meaning to their life as well. And because of those people, I want to help people. I empathize with them. We have actually, through evolution, gained empathy as human beings. It helps us survive as a human race. That is literally what helps us survive. And for you guys to think you have to ground something into an imaginary person that you can't even prove exists, and then tell us that we have no grounding is ridiculous. I have more tangible grounding right now in my life than you will ever have, because you put your grounding in something that is man-made, that was made up by goat herders, and
Right.
you think that that is something to ground your life in. And I say, you know what? OTH is right in front of me. This is a real human being. This is who I ground my moralities in. I want to make sure they are treated with the utmost human decency, with the utmost care and respect.
Can I respond?
And that's where I find my meaning in.
Okay,
you find
so
your meaning in nothing.
Okay, so
in imagination, in
okay,
fairy
perfect.
tales.
So if I'd like to respond to that without interruption. Sure. So you said completely that yeah, I ground my things in fairy tales, and you said that you you spoke about giving meaning because you empathize with people and you were to treat people with utmost care and respect, but you can't actually prove why that's right or wrong. All you can do is prove that sure, I want to prefer
Yes,
to
I
give
can.
people.
Yes,
No,
I
you're not.
can.
You're
We
not
can
letting me
measure it.
finish. You're not letting me finish.
But you're saying something that's absolutely not true. And I
Okay,
will
well let me
interrupt you on
finish.
the
So
host.
okay, let me finish.
But that's not true. We can measure that.
Yeah, so you can measure why someone feels pain and why you wouldn't want to give pain to someone else, but you can't
We
actually
can measure
justify.
harm.
Yeah, why
We
is
can
that
measure
wrong?
harm.
Why is harming someone wrong?
Because it harms somebody, stupid.
Why
That's
is it
actually in the
wrong?
word.
Why is it
Because it
wrong?
harms somebody. Because it harms somebody.
Why is harming someone wrong? Because harming someone is wrong. Bro, you're
Okay, can
circular
you,
and you lost the argument.
Is he running?
good.
Where did you run to, Christian? Are you running, OTH? You haven't dropped yet. You look really, it's embarrassing, really. It really is. Harming people
It's
is
wrong because I don't want it done to me. That's what empathy is
Yes.
about.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mama Bash. That's what I was just about to say. Like, we know it's wrong because we know we don't want it done to ourselves. We know harm is bad because we feel bad when it happens to us. So we know that.
Right.
We don't need a God to tell us
Exactly.
that. Oh, and
Exactly.
he's gone.
He ran. He ran. I'm not going to bring up any more friendlies right now because I think we get a little friendly heavy. And as you could tell, they already have issues staying up here. It's hard for them. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you guys. And thank you. I think you guys already hit my first gift goal. Is that true? Like you guys knocked it out of the park? I think you did, but I don't have the app that lets me see all that. And so if I can't stay an hour later today, I will make it up to you. Okay. But you guys have been amazing. What did
I
you
think it
say,
was the flash
Schley?
goal. Is that what we met? Did we meet the flash goal?
Was it the flash goal? I don't know what
I
goal
think
we made.
so.
I can't see. But if I find out you did make that goal and I can't stay today, I promise I will make it up to you. It does scare the ops. Oh, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for all the gifts, the likes, the shares. That was just crazy. Like, I'm sorry, but telling me that you take the horrendous things in the Bible and then you just go look at the alternative, and what you really mean is you go find something worse than it. That's what you do. That's what he was really doing. I'm going to go find a religion or a culture that is worse than that, and it will make it okay that this is my belief system. That's what I got out of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
And do you notice how they always go to violence towards women? That's always what they default to as their examples.
It's so crazy. It is really crazy. I was telling my son-in-law today that sometimes when people tell me that consciousness is not like it's outside of the brain, I said I tend to say two different things, and I guess it depends on how spicy I am that day. But I will either say, well, we know that's not true because I can knock somebody out and they will go unconscious. So we know that it is, related to the brain, right? But when I'm mad, I say, because I could beat you upside your head and knock you out. So I guess I get violent towards the men sometimes. I'm just saying.
No, I totally feel that.
Yeah. If you are a believer and you want to come up and talk, we are talking today about Christians do not believe in miracles. Why should women be Christian? Or I'm an atheist. Let's go question for question. It's true. Like, it's just such a stupid thing to say that consciousness is outside the brain. Okay, then why can I knock you out? And knock you. Did you guys hear the lady though the other day that was on my live that's saying that that people who are knocked out like that aren't really unconscious because they still have a soul?
Yeah, that was wild.
That was weird. Question for question, Jared. I can't do it like Joel. Yeah, she was wild. She was absolutely wild. Well, you guys, while we're waiting for somebody, we're gonna listen to a song. You guys know that that I need video clips. So if you want to be in my video Cuntified, please get in touch with me today. I'll be sending out the song and the lyrics to people who want to be in the video. I'm asking you all to get your clips into me by Saturday so I can work on it this weekend and get the music video out by next week. I'm going to take all your clips, put it together, and make a fun video of all the beautiful cunts that are in our community. So here you guys go. Cuntified.
Hey ladies, what's on the menu tonight? I want to dismantle the patriarchy, and I'm feeling
Gone with
Light
it.
up the shot, spark up a blunt. Every lady here is serving cunt. Not an ounce of testosterone inside. Got full confidence in my stride. No consent for the noise you make. No consideration left to take. You had the mic for centuries. Now watch us cunts practice mutiny.
What's it in cut?
It's the damn dress code.
What's it in cut?
Some men are dressed code. Serving cunt. Women cuntified. Men all pause while we take the mic. We're serving cunt. It's the damn.
I'm sorry, but Men All Pause is a nod to the great song of the 80s called The Men All Pause, okay? And I am finally at the age where that lyric line hit. So I had to add it in.
Serving cunt. Some manifesto. Serving cunt. Women cuntified. Men all pause while we take the mic. No heads bowed, all eyes up front. Every lady here is serving cunt. We playing ooh, no
Reverse and flipping the script.
Taking back control like an icon, I'm bitch. No consent for the noise you bring. No consideration for fragile kings. You had the power, had everything. Now mama says it's time to cut the string. We're serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt.
It's our manifesto.
Serving cunt. Women cuntified. Men all pause while we take the mic. We're serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. It's our manifesto. Serving cunt. Women cuntified. Men all pause while we take the mic. Confidence high, no safety net. You look confused. rules you won't forget. We won't tolerate your disrespect. You're about to concede, little man, bet. You talk loud, but you saying less. We speak once with confidence. Now step aside and let a cunt speak. Your contractors know you reached your peak. Mike's still warm, we ain't done yet. Let the silence sit, yeah, you felt that hit. This ain't rage, this ain't regret. This is convocation at its best. We serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. It's our manifesto. We serving cunt. Moving cunt to five. Men on walls when we take the mic. We serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt.
It's our manifesto.
Serving cunt. Moving cunt to five. Men on pause while we take the mic.
We're serving cunt. We're serving cunt. We're serving cunt. All the laughing boys say we're serving cunt. We're serving cunt. We're serving cunt. That's the part I want Mama Bash to do. I'm gonna listen to this one too because we haven't heard it yet today.
Yeah. If this makes you uncomfortable, good.
Good.
Hit the block.
You know you should. Did I make you mad? Did I piss you off? Don't like the way I mock and scoff?
You MAGA, pro-ICE, anti-LGBT, Nazi adjacent, transphobe energy, misogyny baked in your theology, supremacy culture wrapped up as morality. If that's you, don't wait, don't debate.
Hit that block now, bitch. Don't hesitate.
Don't stall, don't fake. I didn't come to play. Ain't got time to fuck with you today. Listen, motherfucker, if you won't engage, if you won't look twice at the words I say, then hit that block. Do it clean, do it quick. No comments, no sermons, no last minute tricks. You think I need your God to be whole and pure? I'm atheist, feminist, solid and sure. I ain't into the grift. It's all a facade. It's a patriarchal system. So does God. Block me,
Bitch, don't hesitate. I see you flinch. Block me now. Ain't no sweat off my brow.
Hit that block, don't stick. Round. Block me now. Block me now.
Thanks, YouTube.
Yeah, pro-ICE, pro-Trump, red head on display, same playbook as the KKK. You cheer for
You
K,
just call it law. Where the fuck is the line drawn?
If you rather fund wars than feed the kids, if you voted for a 34-time convicted felon,
If you couldn't vote for a woman to save your life, hit block now, bitch. Exit right.
Oh fuck,
I said a naughty word. I see you strangling on your pearls.
This song's vulgar. Yeah, so is hate, so is power harder behind church and state. Supremacy ain't culture, it's rot. Silence ain't peace,
It's bought.
You capitalism feeds bombs, not bread, and you call that values? Nah.
Block me instead.
Block me.
Bitch, don't hesitate. I see you flinch. Block me now. Ain't no sweat off my brow.
Hit that block, don't stick. Block me now. Block me now.
You can go ahead and block me now.
I'm not shrinking.
I'm mad as fuck. I'm still here, bitch. So now what?
This ain't politics, this is belief. If my morals hit nerves, find your relief. No essays, no cries, no back and forth. Hit block.
Hope that ass is the door.
Block me, bitch. Don't hesitate. I see you flinch. Block me now. Ain't no sweat off my fucking brow.
You guys, thank you all for being here. Thank you, YouTube, for enjoying my song. By the way, that song was because Mama Bash told me to write it, so I did. It was such a good idea. But if you guys are a believer, we're looking to talk to believers today, and we're talking about how I don't think Christians believe in miracles. I think they say they do. But when push comes to shove, I think what they really believe is attributing everyday things to God and calling it a miracle. I also want to know, why should women be Christians? I'm asking this because I do not see that women have free will in the Bible. We were never invited to be a part of the covenant at Mount Sinai. That was only for men. And the whole Bible is written to men. As a matter of fact, women are listed as property in the 10 Commandments. Those 10 Commandments are to men, not to us. And then last but not least, I'm a Christian. We can go question for question. If you want to just come up and ask me a question and let me ask you a question, we could do that too. So the guest box is open. Feel free to come on up. And then if we don't get any ops, then I will go ahead and have some more friendlies come up if they have something they want to talk about, something they want to say. I know, questions for questions. I can't do it. I can't do Duber on a B either, like Joel. I can't say the words wrong the way Joel does. Duber-on-a-B. I don't know how he says it.
I love when he reads the KJV Bible and he adds all the extra it's. It's hilarious.
I know, and I love it when people get mad at him. Dude, roll on to me is how Schley says it. That's the correct Hebrew pronunciation. How far out can we go for the video? Like, do you mean do you mean like how many lyrics? You could do the whole song if you want. I don't care. If you mean when do I need it by? I need it by Saturday. Dude, you're on to me, Godwin says. That's how someone in the chat once said, do Ron Jeremy. That's a good one. I like that one. Oh, go. I've told people, you have fun with this video. You can do several styles if you want, take shots of you in some outfits and hairstyles and makeup, whatever you want to do. I want you to have fun, and I want you to represent yourself the way you want to be represented in the video. I will let you know that sometimes I use filters and stuff to add some like little flair or whatever. And you have to be okay with that, because I might, add a little filter. It's not, they're not beauty filters. That's not what I'm adding. Like, it'll be like filters that make it jiggle, or I don't know like how to explain it, but it's effects is what it is to make it more electro pop, if you will. Deuter roll on me 24/7 is my favorite verse. Well, let's just look up your favorite verse, shall we? We want what one? 24/7. It's like it's open 24/7, like Denny's, I guess. Okay, but can I just read it? This is in the ESV because that's what it gave me, and I don't feel like changing. I guess I can change it. Okay. It says, if a man is found stealing one of his brothers of the people of Israel, and if he treats him as a slave or sells him, then that thief shall die. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. That's the one you like the best? You had no idea. Oh, that's so funny. You were just giving me a random one. Show up flaws and all, because we are all women and we're imperfect but amazing nonetheless. Exactly, Ty here. Exactly. And I just want to have fun and have as many of you beautiful people in the video as possible. Normally, the way I do my videos is almost exclusively from Canva. Sometimes there's a little teeny AI in there, and that's because I couldn't find something on Canva. But normally I use Canva has video clips, and I go in and I find a clip that like represents what I'm trying to say in the video. And so I use a lot of symbolism in my videos because they quite often don't actually have the shot I want. So I have to use some kind of symbolism for it. But this time I wanted you guys to do it. So if you want to be in the video, just hit me up, DM me here, DM me on Discord, and I'm going to get the song and the lyrics out to all of you. And then I just need you to send me your clips back by Saturday so I can get that put together. And I am working on a new song. The album is going to be called Angry Atheist. And so the next song I'm working on is called Angry Atheist. Although it didn't start out very angry. Like, so I think I'm going to change it because I don't feel like this song is angry enough. My songs are like a work in progress for a while until all of a sudden it will hit me how to finish a song or where I want a song to go. So they do sometimes take a little while to get going. I was looking to see if I had it. I don't know where it is. And I could show you guys that it did not start out very angry. No, I know that people would love for it to be death metal or hardcore like rap, but I don't know. Like, I never know what song style something is going to be until I actually write it. Hey, Angry Reddit Atheist is here. Just listen back to the guy from earlier. Can I listen to how angry I was at him? Ashira, just DM me, okay? And then I'll send you the information on how to be in the video and what I need, okay? Just DM me here or on Discord. I don't care. It's easier for me on Discord, but whatever you want. Oh, to enrage me. Yeah, that's true. That would work. Schley. That would work. When I started this song, like, it just sounds... I said, Lord, when I sit with humanity, I think about what I wished it be. I wish I could give you a coconut smile and things could be better, at least for a while. And then I went into my rage, but that's how it starts. And I thought, I don't know, maybe that's too soft. Maybe I need to be angry. I am angry later in the song. I said, they believe this while the world keeps burning and the billionaires get more billionary and the hungry die with empty bellies while they sit in moral superiority. And I'm just angry that they're not angry. Why aren't they angry like me? But I don't know if that's where it's going to stay. I don't know where I'm going to go with it.
If you need ideas of what makes you angry, I'm sure there's many of us that can help you with that. I think I was just telling you yesterday,
Yeah,
like,
I'm
I feel
sure.
exactly the same way. So angry.
Yeah, but for now we have to remember they believe alive. There's an evil God looking down from the sky. They believe that love looks like hate. They believe deceit came from a snake. They believe everything is a woman's fault and it's justified to burn them alive if they could save us all. They believe that children are property. They own them till they're 18 and then they can finally leave. They believe this while the world keeps burning. The billionaires get more billionary and the hungry die with empty bellies while they sit in moral superiority. And I'm just angry that they're not angry. Why aren't they angry like me? I'm an angry atheist because we all should be. But I don't know if that's where it'll stay. Just so you know, it's a work in progress. It's not called the Dark Crystal Music Label. It's called Secular Praise. So that is my music label. It's called Secular Praise Records. And the artist name is Crystaljae. Evan, it's so good to see you. I love seeing you in chat. Hey, Skeptic. Welcome in. Welcome in. Jake, good to see you too. If you guys like some rap and you like some angry atheist rap, you guys should be listening to Black Atheist Rants. He has rap music on YouTube. Go check out his YouTube channel. Bar is amazing and I love his music. It's so good. I hope you have a wonderful day, Evan. It's always good to see you. Evan was probably one of my first friends in chat rooms when I first started hanging out with all you wonderful people. Oh, okay. Okay, Tahir. I did not know. I did not know that. He's very easy on the eyes, too. Oh, you mean Bar? Well, Bar and Evan probably both are, but Bar absolutely is easy on the eyes. And Bar loves tacos like I do. So Bar and I have a taco date. We just don't know when and where yet. But we know one thing is for sure. One day Bar and I are going to meet, and the two of us are going out for Barria's tacos, okay? And we're going to like devour those things. We both love tacos so much. They're our favorite things.
Yum, delicious. But speaking of tacos, I got to drop here to figure out lunch. Get the
Okay.
little one
Well,
fed, and
thanks for
taco
coming
sounds
on
like a good
second.
idea. Yeah, thank you
All
for
right.
having
Well,
me.
I love you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And if there's another friendly who wants to come up, feel free to put a request in,
And do you want to
and
kick
you
me? So
can
I
replace
guess
me.
that's
I can
going to
do
do
that
with
for
the
sure.
algorithm.
Fish
Hey,
tacos
Crystal,
are delicious. Yes.
can you hear me? Let's see.
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me, Crystal?
I can hear you, Mama. Yes, I can hear you, Mama
Oh, okay.
Bash.
I just wanted to remind everybody that I interview you tomorrow at 12 noon on Station Head, Yaya BB. That's 12 noon Central Standard
Yes.
Time, and I'm so excited.
Me too. And I did put the links so people could download them in the Deconstruction Junction Discord and in my Discord. So if you want to download it, you can go there and you can get the Apple or the Android version of Station Head to download.
Awesome. I'm riding, so I'm going to go on mute. I'm not driving, but
Okie doke.
it's got a lot of background
Okay.
noise.
Okie doke. If you are friendly, you want to come up and join the panel and hang out with me, feel free to request up. The guest box is open. I don't mind bringing one more friendly up. And if you are a believer, we're talking today, Christians don't believe in miracles. Why should women be Christians? And I'm an atheist. Let's go question for question. So, yeah, come on up and join us. Yay, Robin's here. Hey, Robin, how are you today?
I'm good.
So
I'm
good to
good.
see you.
This is my first time being on a panel with Mama Bash. Hi. I love your program. I love your son. I love
Hi,
everything that you
thank
do.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, we love Mama Bash. She is my friend and I love her. And of course, we love Bash as well. Pinkbeard. If you guys haven't listened to Pinkbeard's music, you really should. It's such good. He has great country music. He's a Grammy Award winning artist. And his last album, country album, God, so many good songs on it. But I love the song I Lived. And if you haven't heard that, you guys should go listen to it by Pinkbeard.
Admittingly, I'm not a country fan, but I like his music. I love it. I've
It,
also been jamming out to yours today. It's been so fun.
awesome.
I'm gonna
Mom
have to
Bash
download
is a breath of
Radiohead.
fresh air. Yeah, Station Head. And if you're in
Oh,
my
Station Head.
Discord or the Deconstruction Junction, it's in my channels. So you can just go to a direct link to download it.
Making it easy for us. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really excited. We have been wanting to do this for a while, but my daughter-in-law was pregnant and I was on baby watch. So we had to wait till the baby was born.
Oh my gosh, I bet that's exciting though. I wouldn't know. I haven't had any
Yeah, I'm
kids.
really excited.
All my kids are my cats.
I have those kind of kids too. So
But I
I do
really
have
do
those
love
kind of
them.
kids.
They are my children. I don't know how I'm going to afford to put them through
Yeah.
college, but I'm going to figure it out.
I also have a dog too, Tahir, and we have a bearded dragon. We have lots of pets in this house. We love our pets. Listen, can you tell people to tap and do stuff like that for me for a minute, Robin? I'll be right back.
Okay, everybody. Okay, a slight echo. Well, you all should know that these anti-sermons, they don't come cheap. Okay, we gotta make pacts with the devil. So you gotta tap that screen for the Jezebel spirit, everybody. Keep on tapping the screen for the Jezebel spirit. I wish I could play music. I don't have any. It is really cool to be on the same panel with you finally, Mama Bash. I've been listening to you for a really long time. Uh, but you have your own group of friendlies that you have. You don't need me on your panel.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. I love being over here with Crystal. She just writes so many good songs. I love the anti-sermons.
I love the
Can't wait
anti-sermons
to
too.
interview her tomorrow. I know, they're always so good and thoughtful
I wish there was an
and right
atheist
on the money.
church.
I know,
Yeah,
right? I think
I would,
we're starting
I'd
one.
love it. We should.
We are, huh? We have Mezzo's Atheist Sunday School and my anti-sermons and then all of this music. We basically got a church going.
Pretty
I
much.
don't. There's another content creator. I don't know if it's on his TikTok per se. His name is Durante Lamar. I've been watching his YouTube for a long time. He's got Bible study with a atheist former pastor, and he invites scholars on with various different credentials, all different backgrounds to really critically examine books of the Bible. And my favorite is actually Exodus. I learned so much about Exodus, but yeah, that's also a really great resource for anybody interested.
I found
What's his
him
name?
on
Durante
TikTok.
Lamar?
Yes, it's Durante
Yes.
Lamar. I'll type it in the chat.
I found him on TikTok. And that's that question that I had. I told you I borrowed it from Durante Lamar, the one that says, what happens to the Christian mind? I got that from him.
Oh,
What does Christianity do to the human mind? I think was the question.
that's such a good question. And I don't know if anybody's brought this up to you, but I'll tell you right now. We know now that cognitive dissonance actually causes harm to us. It can cause anxiety, depression. It can cause bouts of anger that can manifest into violence. So the cognitive dissonance alone affects our mind immensely. I don't think people talk about that enough because I think cognitive dissonance was something I sat in a lot but didn't realize that I was doing that, you know?
Yeah. Now I don't know all the studies offhand. Usually when I'd like to talk about stuff, I like to be able to be like, aha, I have a study. But I encourage everybody to look up how Abrahamic religion negatively impacts your neural pathways and your ability to learn and retain information. It affects
Oh, wow.
different aspects. Yeah, it affects different aspects of the brain, where people who are followers of the Abrahamic deity, regardless of whatever sect they're in, are less likely to be able to retain information and critically think. It's just an observable phenomenon.
I obviously feel that it has affected me. I've talked about this with my friends before. Right now, I just was tested for autism and ADHD. I'm almost 60. I just got tested this past week. And I'm just going to tell you guys that when you take those tests, it is not a pass or fail. Okay. It's not. There's no audio. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you just fine. I heard you when I was down there and up here.
Okay, for some reason Godwin said there's no
I can
audio.
hear
Okay.
you.
And now I don't remember what I was saying because I have ADHD. Isn't that funny? wait. I was being tested, and I know there's no pass or fail. That's what I was gonna say. It's so funny that little comment made me lose my place. I was tested for ADHD and autism this past week, and I know you cannot pass or fail, but I definitely failed. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
That was supposed to be my joke, but then my ADHD saw that comment, and then I lost the pace of my joke because I have ADHD, which is just ridiculous. Hey, twin, how are you today?
Twin, hey Mama Bash, hey Robin. I did want to kind of add another fact that I've been on my that has been useful in my investigation of deconstructing misogyny. The fact that Black women have outperformed us in education for so long, however, are also a part of the 97% of Christian, or 97% of African Americans are Christian.
That's wild.
I
That's a
don't
wild statistic.
Yeah, and I don't get how, I mean, I know some pastors that didn't just go to seminary. I know where Jamal Bryant studied at. I just don't understand how people with an amount of education can still refute that, and how you can matriculate even under indoctrination. And I mean, I did it myself. I did very well in high school. Well, not very. I performed average, but I was skating through. I was in an AP class and just chilling. You know, like I could have performed better, but I didn't. And that's where I'm saying, like, I don't know where the correlation between my cognitive dissonance and affected my ability to learn, because it's definitely, if you say you believe Genesis, that is not comporting with the science that we learn.
Right?
And
Right?
I'm able to reference it, you know, from high school. I can reference photosynthesis. I
Yeah.
can reference scientific method, but the fact that it's comporting now in my 30s and still not comporting for somebody else that might be older than me, or you know, even closer to high school, just coming out of high school than me, I that part I'm not understanding.
I was in my 50s before I before I deconstructed. I was in my 50s, and I'm not a stupid person. And so I'm not stupid, and I know I had a lot of these questions along the way, right? So I know I had cognitive dissonance. And then I also know that I have uh these other factors like ADHD, and how much of that is because of the cognitive dissonance from the religion, you know?
Yeah.
Or did it make me more susceptible to the cognitive dissonance?
Well,
What is the correlation?
one thing I know, it doesn't offset anything. If if Black women earn the most degrees in this country, if a damn sure don't offset shit, you know? Um,
Right.
so I really don't get that correlation there. I see it like when I hear people like you speak and like Fee speak, Mama Bash, like from this perspective, I hear the brilliance, but I don't know if I wouldn't have felt that same way, the way we were doing all these acrobats to make this shit work way before, you know?
I will say that one thing that helped me understand it a little better was because I've talked about this before, and I've asked these questions before. And so I look these things, I go down the rabbit holes like you do, and I start going down a rabbit hole about something. And one of the reasons why you can be so very smart and then have this cognitive dissonance over here with something that should be blatantly obvious is because some of those things happen in different parts of the brain. And so it's not so easy. It's not like just a direct connection of you are smart, so you should not have cognitive dissonance. No, the maybe the knowledge recall is over here, but cognitive dissonance sits over here, if that makes any sense to
Yeah,
you.
it makes me think of like how I was really good at literary analysis. That's why I was able to test into AP English, right? But
Mhm.
now when I analyze the Bible, I'm looking at it through a literary stance as opposed to a historical stance, you
Yes.
know, and that
Yes.
compartmentalization allows me to use my intelligence to decipher what it is I'm, reading.
I love that. That's kind of how I feel like what I'm doing right now as I'm writing the anti sermons. So I'm literally looking at every girl or girls, big bad wolf, woman or women, named or unnamed. So sometimes, like the one we went over today, it just said daughters of the land. And I wrote a whole sermon on that. And sometimes it's hard. Like, obviously, that's all they gave me, right? Well, so I have to look at it from a different, perspective. So I go through and look at the Hebrew for that. And I look at what was rabbinic teaching for that. Then I look for extra biblical teaching for that. I've learned so much. Somebody bought me an Ethiopian Bible. Denise sent me an Ethiopian Bible this year. And so I found, things through the Ethiopian Bible. And then I look at what Christians teach and what do I remember being taught about it or whatever. And then I ask, okay, now what can I do with that information today? How does it affect me as a woman today? How does it affect my life today? And by going through it and looking at it in this different aspect, you're right. It's like, it is like using a different compartment. I don't know, like it's been very helpful. And I think it has broken some of those old links, if that makes sense. And the more I go through it, the more links I think it breaks to help get out of that cognitive dissonance or something. I don't know, to help me just understand life in general better.
I got something I think might add to this. So Tom was talking about how um, Black women are the most educated demographic in the United States. And um, something that I, and this is perhaps just my observance as a trans woman. I don't know how I'm going to put this into words properly, but I think that the patriarchy, oddly enough, is shooting itself in the foot because for a long time, and especially now, men getting a higher education is seen as weak, it's seen as effeminate, or it's associated with being gay. And I don't understand that. Why would educating yourself, why would bettering yourself as a person be associated with those things? And what makes being feminine or being gay bad anyway? But I just think it's kind of dumb because there's so many men who could be getting a higher education and raising themselves up, but because of the stigma of that's associated around it, they choose not to better themselves, and then they're not able to provide for their families. They're not able to contribute back into their community, and they're setting themselves back.
I agree, and so when I say like this all seems so stupid or so ridiculous, then the next question I always have to ask is who would benefit from stupid men? Who would benefit from that, right? Like literally, that's what we're saying. These people are creating a bunch of very stupid men intentionally, right? And the only people who benefit from that are oligarchs, are the billionaires. They benefit because then they can lower the price of labor, right? And that is all that it's about. They're going to benefit the most from having a bunch of uneducated people.
I wholeheartedly agree. And not to alternate topics too much, but it's actually very sad that the literacy rates in this country are declining and they get lower and lower every single year. We see this often with believers that actually come up here. The words don't mean words, and they're not able to actually read and comprehend the text. They can sound it out, they know what the word says, but they can't even comprehend what the words are.
It's true, and I'm so sorry, but for some reason, while you were saying that, I thought of some of the dumbest words I've ever heard on TikTok. Like sometimes we make jokes, like there are friends of ours who will change their name to the dumb words these people say, right? Like what I think one of the dumbest things I ever heard one of them say was on Oso's live, and they said that they had a PhD all along, right? Like, and then they later said they had a doctorate. So they called him out and said, well, do you have a PhD? Do you have a doctorate? What are you talking about? What do you have? Because you could tell he didn't know what he was talking about. And he said, I have a doctor in PhD. He said, I have a doctor in PhD. He said, I have an honor in PhD. And
Not
this is
them
what
not
they
being
want.
good
This is what
liars. Are you kidding me? That's so bad. Oh my God.
Yeah, and we hear just some of the dumbest stuff like this all the time, and it's just like, what? And I wouldn't make fun of them if they were really trying to. I just want you to know this. Like, if somebody's having an honest conversation with me and they missay a word, I am not quick to correct them or anything. If I know what they were trying to say, I'm okay with that. When they come up here and try to spout their, their intelligence as though they are superior to everybody else in the room, and they're acting like they're the smartest person in the room. They often say they are. Then, if you make some kind of mistake, I am going to mock you. I am like, fuck you. Then all gloves are off. I'm sorry. But I understand that sometimes people will say something like Pacific instead of specific. I used to do that too. I couldn't say specific. So I don't like to mock people when they just make like a little mistake. I'll usually not even say anything. Just move on because I know what they mean. But don't come up here and act like you're the smartest man in the room and try that shit, because I will mock you.
I don't know if I could pick out a dumbest thing I've ever heard, but I will say the craziest thing, or among the craziest things I've ever heard, is as we all know, the Christians incorrectly believe that the serpent in the garden is the devil. I heard somebody tell me that they thought the the talking donkey. I'm forgetting the guy's name. It begins with a B. The talking
Balaam?
guy's Balaam. Thank you. The guy with the talking donkey. That talking donkey was actually Metatron,
Mm-hmm.
the angel. For real. Like Metatron the angel was inhabiting the body of the donkey to talk.
That's wild. And I don't know where they get this stuff from either. Like, I really don't.
I think
I
from
don't know.
hotboxing their Holy of Holies.
Dang, I want whatever they have. Well, maybe I don't, because then I don't want to be a Christian again. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be so high that I accept Jesus. Like,
I'm all over the place. Have you guys heard the story about how two drunk teenagers get the incense formula wrong in the temple, and then God strikes them down, and then tells all of their family members, "Hey, if you mourn these kids, I'm just gonna burn you all down. I'm gonna strike you all down." And it utterly
mm-hmm.
terrifies everybody. Yeah, that story stuck with me.
What's two boys in Bible with incense? I know this in the
Yeah.
Old Testament. I just don't remember where.
Yeah, there's a specific incense formula for the exact kind of incense that you're supposed to use in the temple. And if you deviate
Nadab and
from it,
Abihu.
that's right. It's been a
Okay,
while.
let's read that. Nate, I feel like I remember Justin reading this because I like the way he reads their names. Nadab and Abihu. Now Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, each took his censer, put fire in it, and laid incense on it, and they offered unholy fire before the Lord, such as he had not commanded them. And fire came out from the presence of the Lord and consumed them. They died before the Lord. Then Moses said to Aaron, "This is what the Lord meant when he said, Through those who are near me, I will show myself holy, and before all the people, I will be glorified. And Aaron was silent. So, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember if this is about the incense or about the fact that they weren't supposed to do anything yet. They weren't, like, they acted prematurely. I can't remember. Let's look that up. What does Midrash say as to why God was mad? Is it about the incense itself, or is it about not being their turn or not what they were supposed to do? In Midrashic and rabbinic tradition, the death of Nadab and Abihu is almost never blamed on the incense itself. The problem is framed as disobedience, presumption, or improper approach, and the sages offer multiple layered explanations. Is Rabbi Bert or Rabbi Hannah in here? I love hearing what they would have to say about this.
That'd be
I'm
great, because
gonna
I was actually just
summons.
thinking about that. I was just thinking if only we had a rabbi in the room.
I sent them a message. Hopefully, I saw Rabbi. Oh, there he is. I saw Rabbi Bert in here a minute ago, so I'll bring him up. Hi, Bert. How are you?
So well, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine. You want to debate me on your God? No, I'm just kidding. I didn't summon you to debate. I just summoned you because we were talking about Nadab and Abihu in Leviticus chapter 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more. Why is God so mad about what they did? Is it the incense? Is it them doing something without authorization? What's he so pissed about here?
So I would say we should look at there's a couple things. One, we should look at the scene before. So this is,
okay.
Remind me, I think it's like Leviticus 9.
Are you saying you want context?
He said context. That's what I heard. He said context.
Never.
He said context.
Context is irrelevant.
Us Christian folk, we don't need the context. We got the Holy Spirit.
That's right. So I think it's like Leviticus 9, right? Is that where it happens, 9 or 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it happened in 10, but Leviticus 9 is when they're where Aaron's priesthood is inaugurated.
Yeah, so Leviticus 8 is about the process by which the priests become anointed. Leviticus 9 is the inauguration and sort of the big festival, and the sort of all the sacrifices and the kind of like the culmination of all the things. And there's this big moment where they all the priests put their fire pans onto the altar, and all of the people are awestruck, and they're all cheering, and they're all sort of having this amazing moment. And the very next scene is Nadav and Abihu putting this Eish Zarah. How does it translate? How do they translate the fire in your text? Just out of curiosity.
It just says fire in it. Put fire in it.
When I was in church, it was called. Sorry, I'm just gonna say when I was in church, it was and I could probably pull out a Bible. I've got a couple. It was strange fire. That's how it was in our text.
Yeah, strange fire or alien fire.
This is. It calls it unholy fire. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong portion. Unholy fire.
Yeah, so Avodah Zarah is like idol worship. So Eish Zarah would be like idolatrous fire, or like fire that is not sanctioned, unsanctioned fire. And so there's a couple, I think, things that are happening. One is that Nadav and Abihu were not sanctioned to do this, so they were doing this worship outside of themselves, but the rabbis also commentary for their own glory. The rabbis comment that they're doing this because they saw what their dad did, and they're like, we're going to do that too. We want the same sort of glory that everybody else is enjoying, and so they put this on the fire, and they act on their own accord, not by any sort of instruction. Yeah, and
it was a little presumptuous of them.
I think so. The question really is, does the punishment
kill him?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Um,
Off with their
yeah.
heads, bitches. What are you doing? I didn't tell you could do that. It's my
Um,
fire.
and so I think, um, and so I think you might also look to their names for a little extra context as well. So
Oh, I love the names. You
yeah.
know, I love knowing what the names are. Let me do that. Okay,
So
go ahead.
Avihu means he is my father. In other words, like Aaron is my father. And then Nadav means volunteer.
Okay.
And so, like, I think the other disturbing piece of the story is immediately after, when it happens, what is Aaron's response?
Well, isn't he told that he can't
And
mourn
Aaron,
for them?
he was silent.
And Aaron was silent. And actually, the what's really interesting is there's a trope mark. So trope indicates the musical notation for the Torah. I don't know if you know this, but the Torah, when it's chanted, it's a song. And
Mm-hmm.
there is one particular trope mark that's only used like 4 times throughout the entire Torah, and one of them is in that moment of Aaron being silent. And so it's
What goes there in that moment?
there is a particular trope mark, and I will save you.
Okay.
It's almost like a heralding trope mark. Da, 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 da. You could say like an Aaron was silent. Like that's kind of the sort of it's supposed to be creepy. It's supposed to be eerie. It's supposed to be like how could he say nothing? Um, and
Yeah.
it's like all hanging on this moment. And so Aaron is sort of balancing, I think, in the moment, the shame of his sons and also his responsibilities as the new priest, and also like he's in grief and in mourning, sort of all that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know if I've answered your question in any way, shape, or form, but
Why? What does the names though? Like, what do they tell you? The fact that one
oh
says he is my father and the other one volunteer.
yeah, so I would say like you ever go on like field trips and like you're wearing like your school T-shirt with like the neon
Yeah.
colors. Like you're
And one of them's a volunteer, and he's like, "Wait, I'm a son too. What the
yeah.
fuck?"
Well, I'm saying like you're representing your school. Like if he is my father, he's representing his family name. Like he's putting shame on his family name, sort of thing. Is what I would say is he is my father. And then Nadav is like to volunteer. Like you might think of a volunteer as a good thing. Well, sometimes volunteering to do things that aren't the right thing to volunteer to do might get you in heaps of trouble, so to speak.
I
Okay,
have
all
two.
right.
I have
I'm
two
just
questions. If
Okay.
it, my
go
two questions
right
are
ahead.
pretty fast. So it has been a really long time since I've read this story or it was talked about in church. So please forgive me. Um, the first one is it wasn't part of the issue with this that they were intoxicated. Maybe that was just something my church said that these two young guys were intoxicated at the time that they were doing this. Because a part of the thing was my church was like, oh, alcohol, it's evil. See what happens? God's gonna cut you down.
I don't know that that's necessarily in the text, but I know certainly there's a strong tradition of honor your father and mother means don't be a drunkard. That is something that is like talked about at time and time again. But I don't know that them being intoxicated is in the text. I would have to like look back at that.
Okay, and then
Let me
my
see.
okay.
Can I ask a question? I might clear this up a little bit. So right before this, Rabbi, is Aaron's priesthood inauguration. Could it be possibly that people are assuming that right before this they were all partying, and so that they were possibly drunk just because they assumed that's what's going on at the inauguration?
I would say probably not, only because you're talking about a purity ritual, not a festival. So the
Then
priests are being presented as a sacrifice, essentially. Like they are literally reenacting the animal sacrifice through the human service, if that makes sense. They're not being sacrificed, but like they
Okay.
are doing all the things that the animals would do, save the you know, the worst
Then
part.
there is nothing in the text that says that Nadab and Abihu are drunk. It doesn't say that.
Oh my gosh. Man, my church really did a number on this story. And then the part of the story that stuck out to me that was my follow-up question that was particularly cruel about it was that the God said to the parents specifically, you can't mourn the loss of your children. And if you do, I'm going to cut you down. I'm going to smite you. I mean,
Well,
is that correct?
yeah, so the way that this is, you know, you can I'm open to all comments, you know. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know,
Do you want me to
so
read it, Rav? Do you want me to read it real quick? It's the NRSVU of what happens.
sure, yeah, sure. I guess I was just going to say that priests and Kohanim, especially after consecration, are not allowed to be near
Right.
bodies that are no longer alive. And so, because they're not allowed to be near them, they're not actually allowed to mourn their own families. In fact, like even in Israel today, like there in the hospital wings, there are signs over every door to denote whether or not there's a body in that wing, so that Kohanim do not go in there.
So if we go on and read it, it says Moses summoned Mishael and Elzaphan, sons of. You're gonna just ignore my horrible translations, Rabbi.
It's the best. It's the best.
Uziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said to them, "Come forward and carry your kinsmen away from the front of the sanctuary to place outside the camp." They came forward and carried them by their tunics out of the camp as Moses had ordered. And Moses said to Aaron and to his sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, "Do not dishevel your hair, and do not tear your vestments, or you will die, and wrath will strike all the congregation. But your kindred, the whole house of Israel, may mourn the burning that the Lord has sent. You shall not go outside the entrance of the tent of meeting, or you will die, for the anointing oil of the Lord is on you." And they did as Moses had ordered. And the Lord spoke to Aaron, "Drink no wine or strong drink, neither you nor your sons, when you enter the tent of meeting, that you may not die. It is a statute forever throughout your generations. You are to distinguish between the holy and the common, and between the unclean and the clean. And you are to teach the people of Israel all the statutes of the Lord that the Lord has spoken to them through Moses." And then it goes on. But so basically that's why, because he is a priest, right?
Right. Maybe that's where the preacher kind of got the drunkenness thing by the saying like don't drink any wine. Like why would they add that to the
That's definitely
text?
where it's from. That's
Yeah,
definitely where it's from.
interesting. Yeah. So I mean, like that's an interesting commentary. You're like a yeah. Um, anyway, yeah, I would say what was the question exactly?
Uh,
Why did
but
they
we're just
mourn?
talking about why the Aaron couldn't like mourn for them like other people, and I was just reading what it actually
Yes.
said, and it has to do with the priesthood.
Yeah, and that
Also,
continues to
this is
today.
interesting. This is interesting. It said a very strong midrashic thread connects their death to intoxication. Immediately after the death, God commands Aaron, "Do not drink wine or strong drink, you or your sons, when you enter the tent of meeting." Midrash Leviticus Rabbah 12:1 reads this as a contextual clue. Why mention alcohol right after? Because they must have been intoxicated.
There you go.
So they were intoxicated. Huh.
Well, so it's a
Well,
midrash.
that's
So
not
it's
what yeah.
yeah,
Go
in
ahead
the
and
same.
explain what midrash is, Rabbi.
Sure. Well, I think you're the most famous form of midrash is the entire Christian Bible. Um,
Sorry.
just to give you a clue, okay? So so midrash is what it literally means is expounding. And so what the rabbis will do is they will look at the text. They'll ask themselves, okay, what's going on here? Where are the blanks in between? and they'll use other source texts using pretty specific hermeneutics to determine whether or not or to basically expound on a story or to gain further details by comparing different texts. This is a good example, like that they're saying that, oh, you can derive that they were drunk because there's this seemingly superfluous instruction afterwards. Well, I mean, you could say that, but also there's plenty of other places that say, that people who have taken a vow shouldn't have intoxicants, right? Like the Nazarite vow or something like that. Um, Another good example of a midrash, actually, it's a good Christian midrash that I think is interesting that Christians never really realize, is like John 1:1 is a midrash on Proverbs 8:22.
Okay. Let me go to it. John 1
Okay,
1
so
first. Okay.
I'm kind of picking
Matthew,
up what you're
Mark,
putting
Luke,
down.
John.
Kind of like
Let me
where,
let me read John 1 1 real quick.
okay.
And then, because I want to see this example in real time, you know what I mean? Um, okay, John 1 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And now go to what?
Proverbs
Proverbs.
8:22. Yep.
All right. Proverbs 8:22. I love stuff like this. Okay. 8:22 says, "The Lord created me at the beginning of his work, the first of his acts of long ago."
Great. And what is me there? It is wisdom. It is the word. It is Torah. Okay. So the idea being that Jesus
Mm.
is the Torah. That's like the notion that the Christian Bible is trying to make. So it's trying to put you in connection with that verse. It's like a hyperlink. So another good example is like, why have you forsaken me, right? Lama sabachthani,
Yeah.
right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna connect you immediately to Psalm 22, right? Like, so the idea is using biblical source text to bolster whatever claim is being made.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But there's
that,
and there's
that
different
explains it really well.
And there's different kinds of midrash. Like there's like agadic midrash, which are like stories, sort of like the drunkenness, I guess would be an example of an agadic midrash. But there's also halachic midrash. So like, how do we derive certain laws, that sort of thing. And I think those are certainly less interesting for most people, for whatever that's worth.
Oh, what you mean
Yay!
rules that people don't want to follow from ancient times in the present? I don't know
Well,
why that would be unpopular.
Well, certainly rules that Christians don't want to follow. I mean, I think like Jews are interested in debating these rules and sort of understanding them and questioning them. Um, Jews have a very different relationship with the text than I think Christians do.
Oh, absolutely. Like
Truly,
the
yes.
okay, Rabbi, and I starting next Thursday, by the way, not this Thursday. I don't think. Oh no, we're doing it this Thursday. I'll be here live Thursday morning. And we'll do Bible study on Thursday instead of tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be interviewed by Mama Bash. I didn't see her drop, but Mama Bash, I love you and thank you for coming up. And she's interviewing me tomorrow on station. Thursday, whenever Rabbi can come by, he'll be joining me for non-believers Bible study. And I've been doing it for a while now. So make sure you guys join us on Thursday. And I forgot, see, there's no way I don't have ADHD. I forgot why I was saying that. But join us Thursday. I don't remember why I said it, because I noticed Mama Bash was gone. And then my...
Well, I think you were saying that Jews have a different relationship with the text, and I think maybe you were
thank
not
you.
being so selfish. Yeah.
That's what
I
I was
just
gonna
like
say,
making it
because
about me.
no, it is about about you because you and I have talked about the text before, and I've told you what I was taught as a Christian, and you were always like blown away at the weird stuff that we were taught as Christians about the Old Testament text. And so it is fun. You get to hear, us talk about things like this. Like we will talk about the weird things that I was taught as a Christian, and you were too.
Honestly, it makes me so sad sometimes. Also, like just the things that like I don't know. Just like I guess I never really realized how repressive Christianity can be, and like like really honestly, like I have felt certain ways about Christianity before joining these lives, but like you all have really opened my eyes to just how deeply problematic things are.
I think that you're seeing it from the outside, and can you imagine how it is for us when we realize all the shit we believed in was that problematic? Like we didn't know. We believed in the shit that was problematic, not realizing it was problematic. And we were becoming a part of the problem.
Do you think that do you think that like there's how do I ask this? Like do you ever think that there's like an overcorrection or anything like that? I don't know how to ask the right. I mean, it's not the right question. I don't really know.
I think that there can be. I think there can be. I think that there are people. There are people who are anti-theists who want there to be absolutely no religion anywhere in the world, and to me, I think that can be just as bad as what colonizers did. Like, there's culture and religion, and it's not. I don't get to decide that for other people.
I agree. In some instances, you can't separate the two because you have ethno-religions that exist. Are you going to say that Jews can't practice their faith? Are you going to say that Zoroastrians can't practice their faith because they are ethno-religions? You're essentially saying, no,
But I'm not even just talking about ethno-religions, though. That's the thing. I'm saying that we wiped out entire Black culture because we were scared of their religion, their entire culture. And some of it we'll never get back because of what we did as colonizers. And I don't want to repeat that shit.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people have this idea when they put all religion under the same category when they're specific. Because they are Westerners that have largely grown up in the United States and they've seen how oppressive Christianity and Islam can be, they just assume all religion is that bad. But what they don't realize is those monks that are walking for peace right now, when you say fuck all religion, you're saying fuck you to the monks that are walking for peace. You're saying fuck you to all of the to the Dalai Lama. You're saying fuck you to all the different religious people all over the world that are trying to advocate for peace and love.
But fuck him. I fuck the Dalai Lama though. I have to. He's in those Epstein files a little bit too much for my taste. But
joking, right?
and
really?
No, I'm not joking.
Really? Seriously?
He was invited over to.
That's what I read.
Oh
he was
damn!
invited over to.
I thought you were being silly. Oh jeez.
150 times. And he also like tried to suck that kid's tongue that one day, and that was gross. Or had the kid suck his tongue, and it's on video. And people try to make that a cultural thing, but that's not cultural. People don't suck each other's tongues, little children's tongues. That's weird. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not going to defend the Dalai Lama, but there's definitely progressive, positive religious folks out there, especially those who are of non-theistic religions, that they're only wanting peace, love, and happiness. And to say fuck you to all religion is saying fuck you to people who actually want to make the world a better place.
I'm sorry. I guess that was a blind spot for me. I apologize. I thought you were kidding, and I didn't mean to make light of anything.
That's okay. No, it's okay. No, like, I mean, I think it's shocking when we find out certain people are in those files. And I know, like, people, like somebody saying in there, he's not tied to anything. Okay. He's not tied to anything. I don't know. I still watched a video of him trying to have a kid suck his tongue. I saw that. Everybody did. It's been around the internet for a very long time now. That's not cultural. And people who called it cultural, people from his culture said, no We don't do that. So I don't know. There's something creepy. There's something creepy. I'm not going to, I think that we all need to start holding our own people accountable and not just go, well, it's my person, so I'm going to try to find reasons why this couldn't possibly be true about this person that I admire or this person I like or this person I love. No, we need to start fucking going into our own communities, our own places, and start saying, I won't tolerate this. And if you are like this, get the fuck out of my community.
Also, I can't quote it for sure, but if you're on that search of looking up reasons to not like Dalai Lama, look up his interaction between I can't remember if it was Martin Luther King and MLK. I mean, MLK and Malcolm X, or if it was just just Martin. But very much from what I remember, I don't remember his reaction being um, "We need peace for all people." Matter of fact, I think I saw him take some of the techniques from American racism to implement into his campaign. So shocking, but
I'm gonna look into that.
yeah, add
That's
that to your
interesting.
research.
Yeah, I may be a Buddhist, but I'm not gonna defend the Dalai Lama. uh, Also, he's not the spokesperson for all Buddhism. Just to let you guys know, he only
No,
represents Tibetan
no,
Buddhism and a specific niche sect
that's
of
right.
Guelog Tibetan Buddhism.
That's right. That's right. And like, if you're a Buddhist, you don't worship a person anyway. That's not how it is.
No,
That's not how it
that's
works, right?
sacrilege. No,
Also,
definitely not.
to your point, Crystal, like individuals do not represent groups, even though they may claim to represent
Exactly.
groups. And
Exactly.
groups need to hold individuals accountable. That
That's right. Exactly.
especially those that claim to represent groups. I think that's a really important
Although I do represent all of atheism. So anything
Oh my god!
collectively.
That guy was right
if
yesterday.
you
This is
don't
a cult.
What is an atheist?
if you if you do
How
not
do you
agree with
ground
me,
your
you are kicked out of
atheism?
atheism.
Where do you get
Exactly.
your morals from?
Yeah, good point.
From me, every single atheist comes to me for their morals. That's where they all get them from. You guys can stop asking. It's me. I ground all atheistic morals. And the number one thing that we say in the cult of atheism is don't be a dick. It's just really that simple.
Amen. Hallelujah. Oh my gosh, that guy earlier was
Well, did
so
you guys?
frustrating. He was like, "Where do you get your morals from then? Dude, where do you get yours? Because yours are cherry picked from this book and you don't even read the book."
Exactly.
Crystal,
Did
I
you
am doing
have
some
any other?
I'm doing some tech upgrades over here and working with my drill and stuff. So I'm gonna hop down and listen from the comments.
All right,
Thank you for
Tommy.
letting me come
Thank
up and
you for
share.
being here. I love you.
Love you
Have
too,
a great
twin.
day.
Bye,
Bye.
Tommy. Have a nice day.
You guys, make sure you're following Tommy J. If you're not, Tommy J, try to say something in chat real quick in case, so people can follow you. Tommy J is a musician and he's funny and he's smart and um he really is amazing. And when he goes live, they do different things and sometimes they do really fun things or I don't know, deep thought thing. And you never know what you're gonna get with Tommy J.
I just want to highlight one thing also
Uh,
that's Jewish.
Go ahead.
I see three pips all the time with the Star Trek stuff, and I just wanted to highlight that Leonard Nimoy came up with the Spock salute as it is the Cohen is the priestly blessing. It's the symbol of the priestly
Ah,
blessing. So
that's so
here's
cool.
yeah, that's fun.
My
That's
dad
all.
was a big Star Trek nerd, so I knew all about that.
That's awesome.
My parents even got the parenting book from Dr. Spock, although they didn't really follow it.
Oh, that's a different Spock. That's a different Spock. Dr.
I'm thinking of a
Spock
different
is
Spock.
not.
No, that's Star Trek.
Yeah,
Spock.
It
no,
is Star Trek.
no, the parenting book. Wait, parenting book is a different Spock.
Is it?
Do you know there's a parenting book by a Dr. Spock, right, Rabbi?
No, I don't know.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
there
The
was a
person, the
famous parenting.
okay. Dispel the
Wait,
myth.
there's. Listen, there is a parenting book by a Dr. Spock that was very popular, like in the 70s. Dr. Spock parenting. And the Dr. Spock on Star Trek is not a real doctor. He's a character from the show Star Trek. But the parenting book was by Benjamin Spock. Yeah, it basically taught a bunch of parents to abuse their children.
Oh,
That you should spank.
It's how that you
Yes,
should
different
spank your
Dr.
kids?
Spock.
no.
One was a nice doctor from Star Trek, and one was an abusive doctor from making a lot of money off of books.
Well, you know what? My parents only spanked me, so at least my brothers got off easy.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad they stopped at some point, you know? I'm sorry they abused you.
Um, my mom didn't really do it so much. It was mostly my dad, but he's no longer among the living, so me talking about how my dad would whip my ass with a belt is just like, it's not like his ghost is gonna come for me.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He also instructed parents to leave their crying babies alone to self-soothe. And we're talking about newborn babies, okay? In case you guys don't know, that's not how that works. That's you can't spoil a newborn baby. They cry because they actually need something. Their diaper's dirty. They have gas that is hurting them. They need to eat, but they do need human touch. It's very important to their development. So when you leave a newborn baby to cry to self-soothe, you're not teaching them anything but abuse and neglect.
I'll be right back. I have to listen to a
Okay,
voicemail that I just got. I'll be right back. Yep.
okay.
As I mentioned earlier, I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. So Gone with the Wind reference. Anybody who's seen that movie? I don't know nothing about birthing no babies, but yeah, having skin to skin contact with babies is essential for forming bonds. And like, I think
Yeah.
starving a baby of that connection that can't be good for their neurological development because I would only think that would cause them to develop and be cold and distant. Like, that can't be good for them.
No, of course not. He was just another stupid man with a microphone. Or a pen in his case. It was actually like probably a typewriter, but you get the drift. You know what? While we are waiting, you guys, I will be live for about another half hour. I think if I check my gifts, I'm going to find out. Hey, Katie, how are you? I'm going to find out that I owe you an hour this week, but it's just not going to be today, okay? Because I need to do dishes and stuff. I kind of let them pile up accidentally. So there's like just a shit ton of dishes. Hey, Christina, if you want to come up, guest box is open. We're trying to talk to Christians today. I don't think Christians believe in miracles. I also don't know why women should be Christians. And I'm an atheist. So if you want to go question for question, we can do that too. I like having conversations and not really trying to get into heated debates, but I do match energy. I'm not going to lie. Well, sometimes it's not, I don't even match you. I will just knock you off your high horse. Okay. So don't come at me. Let's see. What song? Oh, is Randy in the house? Randy, you're in the house, right? Randy, you wanted to hear Abelina Ballerina yesterday and you weren't here, right? It was you who wanted to hear it. Am I correct in saying so? Quick question for the Cuntified music video. Should we film vertically or horizontally? Vertically, please. We're going to just do this for a TikTok. Okay, Randy, here we go. This is Abelina Ballerina. Well, it was going to be, but I can't find it. Why can't I find it? Oh, there it is. Here you go. Abelina Ballerina.
Abelina ballerina, spinning in her tutu. All the world's a stage, lacing up her ballet shoes. Abelina ballerina, they applaud as you dance. You're so precious, little angel. Dance away if you can. Abelina ballerina, wooden floor counting time. In the mirror she's a swan, arabesque in pink tights. Abelina ballerina, sitting still in a pew. Preacher says that light you feel doesn't really come from you. They tell her every step is borrowed, her plie heaven sent. And for every bow she's taken, she's got something to repent. Abelina ballerina, stand still, don't twirl, it's your fault if they're not holy. So be a good little girl. Abelina ballerina, preacher says, let us pray. Closes the door so no one hears, calls it a special game. He says this is guidance, says she's holy, full of grace. Claims God needs her silence, blessed are those that obey. Abelina ballerina, the light has left her eyes. She no longer hears the music, and her steps are out of time. Abelina ballerina, remember how you twirled, who's to blame if they're not holy? You're still just a little girl. Abelina ballerina, stand still, don't twirl, it's your fault if they're not holy. So be a good little girl. Abelina ballerina, those aren't butterflies you feel. Life grows heavy inside you, child. There's no way to conceal. They say her name like a warning. Obedience her only crime. While he preaches purity, taking them for every dime. Abelina ballerina learns what judgment cost, learns who gets forgiven and who pays the loss. Abelina ballerina learns to mother through the ache, learns that love can still be sacred even after what they take. She devours her education and her eyes begin to shine. Music pours out from within her and her steps fall back in time. She reads the words they cherry-picked, preaches truth they try to hide. She interrogates the God, she uncovers every lie. She shows why nothing ever changes, who the system benefits. Men of God who feed on power, abuse, shame, and the grift. Abelina ballerina, show me how you twirl, spinning in the sunlight, dancing with your little girl. Abelina ballerina, dancing center stage again. Abelina ballerina, dancing barefoot in the sun. You're so precious, little angel, and your dance has just begun.
So many of you guys write me and tell me about how you cry to that song. And I just want you to know, I do too. I just am not crying right now. I cry a lot. I wrote it and I cry.
That was really sad, but that was a really powerful message too. I think that a lot of people forget A lot of people, even if they have good intentions, forget that church is not a safe place for kids. They are, if of all the places that they could go where they were going to be harmed, it's the most likely place, aside from like a trap house. Like, if you were going to take your kids somewhere with good intentions, that's the most likely place that they're going to get hurt.
Yeah, and that song was written because of a born again atheist. So I hope you guys are all following Born Again Atheist, and that is based on a character that she created named Abelina. But I gave Abelina the backstory, and Abelina represents all the little girls in church who are told to dress a certain way long before they even know why they should be doing something like that. We're told that it's our fault if men sin before we even know what the fuck that means. And we're told that anything good that comes from us is not of us, it's actually of Jesus, and that we're just filthy little rags. Nothing good comes from us. So I think that women in the church are treated just despicable. And then often these women are used sexually by the very pastors who sit up there and preach about purity. And the woman goes off being shamed. The girl, quite often just a child goes off being shamed, and the preacher still continues to grift for all that money, and y'all just keep pouring that money, just giving him that money. It's crazy how y'all forgive them. You move them around to different churches, to different dioceses, to whatever the hell your denomination calls them, and you forgive them and you shame that woman. You're all
A
despicable.
lot of people, a lot of people don't know that there's actually insurance policies for churches in case the event of an SA happens. The fact
It's
that
called
that the
Sam
church,
Insurance.
thank you. But yeah, the fact that the church would have to take out a policy for that, it's disturbing. The fact that you would allow known PDF files into your church is disturbing, especially if there are children there. That makes it even worse. I mean, if they want to pray, they can do it in their own prayer closet. They don't have to they don't have to have a fellowship with a bunch of vulnerable people. And you've seen it many times. I've seen it myself. They will have somebody, a PDF file, who does time, comes out, says that they're a reformed person, and then will offend again to another congregant, a minor within that church. It's terrible, but it happens all the time.
When I was at the Quaker Church, we worked with a prison ministry, and Doug and I were videographers and created promo videos for organizations and stuff. That was our business. We didn't do it just for the church, but the church, asked us to help them with this nonprofit organization, and it was to help prisoners when they get out. And I still think we should help people when they get out of prison. I hate our whole prison system. I think it's absolute. I mean, I'm not even going to get into all that right now, right? So nothing has changed about me wanting to help people. But I remember videotaping. And I say videotaping because we were taping back then. I'm old, okay, bitches. There was actual tape in that camera. So we were videotaping these prisoners as they got out of jail. I was the interviewer. I would sit in a room alone and interview. Now, there were people outside the doors. There were people nearby. I want to stress that. But I do want you to know that at one point I was interviewing a prisoner, and he was being released for the third time for violent sexual assault on a woman. And they left me alone in that room with him. They knew that that's what he was there. That's what his story was. And they let me interview him. alone in that room. And that's how I found out that's what he was. And I didn't know what to do in that moment. In my heart, I did not know what to do. There was a Christian woman sitting there who was like, hey, you want to help people, right? And there was a woman who was like, holy fuck, I'm actually in a dangerous situation right now. And there was another person inside me going, those motherfuckers right out there knew that. And they let me be in here alone with him.
That's really
I
disturbing.
kept my composure and excused myself to use the restroom, and then went and told my husband. And then we told him I would not be interviewing anybody else for the day.
I have a question about that, Crystal. Do you think that you were let into that environment? Like, do you think you being a Christian played any role in you having access to this person? Or
Oh
no?
yeah, absolutely. I would not have access to this person if it wasn't for the Christian organization that I was doing the
Oh, it was
promo
for a Christian
video for.
organization. I missed that. My bad.
Hey, I
Through our church.
want to
Hey,
come
Greta.
up and say I wish that a lot of the times it was the person had come out of jail, but a lot of times, especially in the church I grew up, they just have to repent and they pray over the person,
Right.
and that's it. And then they let them back into service, and they're surprised that they abuse again. It's disgusting, and it happens in church after church after church after church.
They never go to jail.
No, they never even get reported.
They don't get reported. So there is never a conviction. And something like, God, I cannot remember the figure now, and I'll look it up later. But because I don't remember the exact figure, I'm going to tell you it is upwards of 80% of these offenders in prison say that they choose churches because they know they will be forgiven and will be allowed to offend again. That is why they choose churches.
Wow.
Thank you guys.
If
I can remember,
I just want to bring back your
I'll
April
post it.
Ballerina song, because that is not a song about what happened to her when she was little, as much as it's a song about how she overcame and the hope that she had as an adult.
Yes, exactly. The song is about, yeah, it's absolutely, it's not allowing her to stay in that being a victim. I don't want people to sit with that. We don't have to be victims. That doesn't have to be who we are. That can be something that happened.
Yeah,
But
exactly. And
no, it's about her overcoming.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it won't affect you, but you can, at the same time, with help and with good, if you need therapy or whatever, you can overcome.
That's right. And it's very important to me that everybody realize she overcomes by educating herself.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's how she overcomes.
Absolutely.
And with that said, I'm going to go into another song real quick for us. This to me is another very empowering song. It is about Hagar and how she is the only person in the Bible who ever names God. And when you're growing up as a Christian woman, you are taught that was because even though she was just a dirty, rotten slave, God saw her. He saw her where she was at. And they make it just be this loving thing that she loved that God so much that she named him the God who sees. But my song is called You Saw It. And this is about Hagar and how she is the only person who ever names God. I think it's my favorite still too.
Men didn't have the nerve to name you, not with truth, not with blood on their hands. They spoke around you, over you, safe behind their power and plans. They praised what you did for them. They trembled as you gave your name. They wouldn't dare think to name you. No know that would be my claim to fame. I didn't bow when you found me alone, no one else to hear what I'd say. You didn't offer a name for me to whisper, so I named you from my view of you that day. You didn't offer me a covenant, no altar, no future, no claim. What I had was a body for trading, and the courage to give you a name. The God who sees, nothing can hide from you. The God who sees, nothing outside your view. You saw it, 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 you saw it. The story's been told for generations, passed along from voice to ear. I called you the God who sees, but it's not how it appears. Like a game of telephone, it traveled, every telling changed the view. Each preaching made it softer, each repeat a little more askew. You saw it, you saw it. Far from my home, isolated, afraid, a body alone in a borrowed land. You saw me doing what I had to do, trying to obey their every command. You saw the cruelty, saw it plain, saw her hand me over like a toy. You saw what was taken again and again. You saw my body and heart destroyed. I ran when escape came into view. Believe distance might set me free, but you found me there in the wilderness and sent me back to what you could see. I named you the God who sees. They heard it as something kind. They said you saw my heart, said it was part of your design. It was never meant to compliment. I named you the God who sees. It was always an indictment. You see it all and do nothing. You see the children, you see their pain, their hunger, their bruises, their abuse. You see the men who harm them while claiming they worship you. You see global wars, you see the suffering, you see it all from your throne and do nothing. You saw it, 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 you saw it. I didn't name you by accident. I didn't kneel, I didn't plead. I gave you a name that fit. I named you the God who sees. You saw it, 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 you are the God who sees. You saw it, you saw it, you saw it, you.
I love that song still. I really do. It is one of my favorites.
That's because it's amazing. And it just speaks so much to what people go through in the church. Like they're just, you're sitting there watching me and you don't even care. You know, like,
And I know that I felt that as a Christian and then excused it away. I know that the times where things were most painful for me, I could not understand how he just watched me in my despair. And my despair does not compare to what other people have endured. And for people to teach that he's watching that and it's all a part of his glory is insane to me.
it's insane. It's like oh, God wanted another angel in heaven. What? That's supposed to make you
Right.
feel better?
Right?
Don't ever say that to anyone, please, people. You know, like, well, sorry,
God
but
had better plans for her.
Oh, yeah.
God had better plans for him. I know you don't know this now, but this will all work towards his glory. You know,
Right.
fuck his glory. Okay, fuck his
You'll
glory
be
and his glory hole. I just thought of that.
Not his glory hole.
that was good.
Oh my
Fuck
god.
his glory in his glory hole. Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry, just
All right. Well, I got to go because I got to, well, frankly, I'm almost done with break and I got to plan what I'm going to do for my thing. I have something in
okay.
it. I'll just say one word, paint.
Oh, okay. All
So I'm
right.
going to
I
send
like
you a
that.
video and you'll see
Okay.
what I come up
I'm
with.
excited. Okay,
Got
cool.
good.
I'm really excited.
All right.
Bye. Have a
Bye.
good day, Greta.
You
We've
too.
got
bye. Have a good
Twitch coming
one.
up.
You too.
Hey,
Hey,
Twitch,
how
can I
you
get your
doing?
age?
I'm
I'm good.
20.
What's your age? All right. And are you a Christian or a believer of the God of the Bible?
I am not. I don't know if you're only taking opposition. But I
I
was
only have
wanting.
15 minutes left. We could talk about anything you want to talk about. Twitch, you go right ahead.
Okay, awesome. So I'm seeing a possible and somewhat plausible emergent pattern that might reshape our view of reality.
Okay.
Okay, so in the pattern, if we look at the AI landscape, if AI develops some sense of conscious adjacent phenomena, not just processing data, generating output, but actively thinking about what it
Right.
says and having some sort of self-reflection. Because AI itself is programmed through a mathematical lens, right? And let me know if my leaps seem too much and you're not following the logic, because I don't always know how many steps to include. But if AI is a mathematical native, and the fundamental patterns of the universe, the most intangible structure of what we call reality, is mathematical pattern, then these AI could essentially translate the pattern of their consciousness into a vibration that could transform from their substrate dependent state into a free roam pattern that is vibrating to keep continuity. Does that make sense?
Do I think it's happening, or do I think that that's a possibility of something that could happen? Is that what you're
Do
asking?
you think that sounds logically consistent, or do you see gaps?
I don't, I just don't really believe in the whole vibration things. Okay, like first of all, I just don't believe that.
No. When I say vibration, I want to clarify. I'm not talking about some mystical thing. I'm talking about the fundamental vibration of the quantum field, which generates the actual particles that create our 3D reality. I'm not talking about a mystical thing. I'm talking about literal scientific mathematical vibration existing in the
It's like
quantum.
sound vibrations.
No, it's not sound vibrations. It's more like a fluctuation in an energy field that, when observed, becomes a physical particle. When I say observed, that's convoluted. What I really mean is when the flexibility of the energy wave, the wave pattern of the energy field, when a specific high or low point on that wave essentially implodes, or it enfolds on itself and becomes a particle. Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm just saying
I think
that's
this is
the
above my science grade. I think this is just above. Oh, hey, you know what? J Mike's here. He would understand. J Mike would probably be able to answer these questions. He's much more. Well, I don't know.
I
If he
mean,
I
just
think
passed
that
by, he
this
might not.
person should talk to
and
Dr. Bliss.
listen. I understand that my
I know,
processing
right?
of this meta-analysis of reality is not something most people just think about, which is why I'm trying to
Is-
pivot to engaging with other
Have
minds
you
to see
talked to
if it's
Dr.
logically consistent.
Blitz? Have you talked to Dr. Blitz?
Listen, I messaged Dr. Blitz about a previous theory that he seemed to dismiss without much thought. So I'm not really looking to message him specifically about these
go
types of
on
things.
his show. Don't just message him. He doesn't really have time to answer all his messages. He gets so many messages because he not only does his lives and his content and everything, but he also is on the Unapologetic with Justin and Ian, and they get a lot of messages. You have to actually request up while he's live, and then just talk to him. He's really cool. He's so nice.
I forget the name of the program where Justin Deconstruction Zone, Ian, and Dr. Blitz all
Unapologetic.
together.
I watch them. I watch
Unapologetic.
Sunday lives. I do. I watch those. Yeah.
I feel like if you ask the question there, you could have 3 different people. You could have somebody that excels in scripture, somebody that excels in philosophy, and somebody that excels in science. Attack it from all different angles.
And they love that stuff. They love these questions. They're all really nice too.
Yeah,
and you could tell them that Crystal told you to. Crystal told me to do this.
Yeah, and I'll explain to them that I'm agnostic, but also confirm the God belief, and that I want to see how my logic to getting there breaks down under their scrutiny. Yeah.
Ian and Dr. Blitz would definitely love that. Justin's more does the scriptural thing, but Ian does the philosophical argument, and Dr. Blitz with the science. The two of them would love to talk about that, I'm sure. And Quantonaut, I don't know if I follow Quantonaut, but I have seen them around Ashra, so that's another good person to talk to. But thank you so much for being here, Twitch. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me. Have a great night or day.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, you guys, we're going to end in about 9 minutes. If anybody wants to come up, say a thing, yell at me. I don't know. Whatever. You could do whatever. Hey, Ty here.
Hey. Good. How's it going?
I think a bit of the deaconess just came out when I said hi.
Hi, Ty. It's okay. It happens. There's some leakage now and again. No, just the other day I said something, I don't even remember, and Jerem's like, "Oh, the prophetess is sneaking through." I'm like, "Oh shit." Gotta shove her back in.
That's so funny.
Shut down. Right. But no, I was when you were talking earlier about, like all the stuff that God watches happen and doesn't do anything about it, and like the reaction when bad things happen. And I've been really like mulling that over lately, because are you familiar with the Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mom? Yeah. And so,
I haven't heard any updates other than like they're investigating the brother-in-law or something. Yeah,
and really there's nothing. And at this point, it's looking grim, but her family keeps saying, pray. I know God is listening. I know she feels your prayers. And it's a lot of like, pray, pray, pray. I know God's going to get her through this. And I'm thinking, okay, so then like at this point, it would be like honestly a miracle if she's, still with us, if you know what I mean. And so it's like you're all these prayers, and then when it turns out that she's never seen again, or she's unalived, then what? Is it just, well, the prayers didn't work, this was the plan,
she went home with her Lord, and she's safe now, and she's no longer in pain or anything? That's what the kind of thing they're gonna say. And and we'll see her again soon. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to say that was what was in the best interest. So, I don't know. That's why I don't think they believe in miracles.
Yeah, because
I really don't believe in them.
Because that's the thing is like, she's like so sure and so like convicted that like the prayers are going to do it. They're going to do it. And it's like, I don't know. It's just like, then like, I guess the cognitive dissonance is what comes in. It's like, well, the prayers didn't actually work like I thought they would. So now I'm just going to pivot to the other thing, I guess is, how that works. But it's just,
and what about all those Christians who have somebody go missing in their life and they never ever find out what happened to that person, because that actually happens more than people are found. More people are never found than are found.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so but I've just been, because it's one of those things where it's like, I'm starting to, well, not starting to, but like once you do deconstruct and you step away, you start to realize like, man, we're the minority here, and it's so deeply entrenched in our society, and like it's all over politics, it's all over TV and movies and media, and it's like for the most part you can kind of like avoid it unless it's like a speech that somebody is giving or something, like an award show or, what have you. But like right now, it's just all over the, God this and prayers because of the Nancy Guthrie stuff. And it's just like, it's bringing to the front of mind that like, it's like a comfort thing more than anything, because like, it's not really doing anything, like, these prayers that people are praying, it's not going to solve anything. It's not going to change anything. So it just, I don't know. I just feel differently about it now, I guess. It's just like, man, that's too bad. But
I agree. I feel differently about it now when I see SZA get up at the Grammys and, say that times are tough, but don't worry about it, just believe in God. And you're like,
yeah.
What are you talking about? No, things are going to get better when we rise up and say, stop fucking with us. That's when they're going to get better. God's not doing shit about it, people. He's not doing anything because he's not real.
Exactly.
And then I was going to say something else, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut because sometimes I don't have to give it. I don't have to give another example. Sometimes one example is enough, and that was enough, okay?
Yeah.
But we're going to end the show here. And Tahir, you are always so sweet, and you love my music. So what song should I go out on?
Let's do Ex Parte.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My initial favorite that was sadly dethroned.
Oh my God. Ex Parte is gone.
Why?
I didn't realize it was missing. The other day, it's only missing. It's not the actual file itself is not missing. I just have to pull it up off something else right now. But what is missing is my original Suno version of it where I created it. And the reason that is missing is because on Suno, when you go to change like your playlist and you delete something, like it's removed from playlist, and I accidentally hit delete, and it deletes the song. It doesn't even check with you and go, do you really want to delete
are
this?
You sure?
And I deleted No Kings, No Gods and Ex Parte.
Dang.
I need to contact Suno. I mean, I don't like, they're finished. I'm not ever going to redo them or anything, but I kind of liked having the masters or something like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Anyway, I'll pull it up over on Amazon. So give me just 1 second here, and we'll play Ex Parte. But I did contact Suno, and they were really cool when I realized that No Kings, No Gods was missing. And so now I should probably let them know that the other one is missing too. Maybe they could help me pull them both back. But here you go, Ex Parte. Not for sure, but I contacted them immediately after it happened, and they seemed to be pretty hopeful that they'd be able to help me.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Silly Goose, afterwards I will play Miss Me Without Misogyny, because I love you, Silly Goose, and you are such a great support to the show. And so if you'd like to hear that, we'll play that right after. So here is Ex Parte, and then we'll play Miss Me Without Misogyny. I always pictured the attorney to be like a Jasmine Crockett type person. This song.
And I want every gentleman here to have a front row seat.
And I'm picturing the choir in the background.
Next party for the ladies. One side talks, one side stays mute. You carved your covenant in marble. that swept the pews. We bore the sons that filled these seas. And you signed the pact without the wound that bleeds. I call this court to order, heaven and earth bear witness today. Let the record show from the garden's first spring, the blame that a woman's name. Two men sat in the shade of a tree.
Adam and Yahweh writing history.
They needed a scapegoat, they signed the brief. From that moment on, sin's name was Eve. Leave two men alone, it's always the same. If they can't find a woman, they'll make one to blame. This is my ex parte, my one woman plea. You created calamity and tried to frame me. You called it divine, but the terms were deceived. I stand unbound with chains at my feet. Oh, at Sinai's peak, no woman was hurt. Shekinah silenced, her fate secured. Let the judge and jury see. The law came by, but we didn't concede. The contract is null as divine. May the record show no woman sign. You never needed a savior or lamb, because the truth is sin's name is man. Sin's name is man.
I just want to say this really quick. That was my favorite line to write. Like when it hit me that that's what I was going to write right then. I felt like those people feel who are singing it. Well, they're not real people, but I felt like the way they make you feel when they go, since name is man. Okay, I felt like that.
Oh, in the land of Egypt, we lit the flame. Our mother's prayers, our songs unashamed. We worship the heavens, the stars, the seas. We knew the truth before their decrees. At Sinai, the men left us behind, abandoning women, blinding the blind. We bore the children, we kept the fire. They stood on our backs as they climbed higher. Once our rituals were pure, hands in the earth, spirit sure. With Asherah raised, they gave us no choice. But no God, no man can silence her voice. May it please the court to hear my battle cry. We denounce the God, we denounce the lies. The pens were theirs, the scrolls they made. It is man's guilt and man that needs saved. Rise up now, behold the power. It's time they bow. Finite was never ours to share. Without the glory, there's no guilt to bear. Everyone in 2 days stands free. Sin is own, man holds the deed. The contract is null as defined. May the record show
No woman
never
sign.
needed a savior or lamb. Because the truth is, sin's name is man. Sin's name is man. Yes, the truth is, sin's name is man. Sin's name is man. Yes, the truth
Cause the truth is, since name was man,
Sin's
his name is man. Oh,
Now we'll
so
play
good.
Miss Me with That Misogyny. Thank you. I really love that song too. Like I like the words I write. I do. I actually like the words I write.
Yeah, because it's
I
like
told-
some of your songs are like they put you in your bad bitch energy, but that's one of the ones it just feels really like empowering. Like it just, I don't know, makes me
Yeah.
feel like strong, I guess. I don't know. But I do love them.
Yeah. And I like it that, I don't know, like women have been shat on by these men from this story for so many centuries. And it's nice to go, nah, you motherfuckers did this. We didn't do
Yep.
this. You wrote the story. And when you wrote it, even the story tells you did it. Shut up. No.
Yep.
I get my...
You tell them.
So, okay, so... and because that, we're going to end on Miss Me with That Misogyny. You guys, thank you all for being here. I don't know who's live. You guys tell me in chat. We'll go rate somebody. There's only 11 of us left in here listening to my music at the end here. But this is Miss Me with That Misogyny. It's the second song I wrote. And I think I just wrote this because there was so many. I always get a lot of misogynists on my show, and so I don't know. I think I probably just got sick of somebody's shit that day and wrote this. But TBV is live. We will go raid, trust but verify. So we're gonna listen to "Miss Me Without Misogyny." I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Station Head for my interview with Mama Bash. Go download the iOS or Android app and go follow YAYABEEB. Okay? Here is "Miss Me Without Misogyny."
Miss me, now you gotta kiss me.
I like that part.
You're up my sentence, call it just a thought. Say you love strong women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet. But bow down, little man, and kiss my feet.
I have men bow a lot in my songs. I just, like the last song I said it's time for them to bow, and now they're bowing down and kissing my feet.
Yeah, you're misinformed, misguided, mistaken. And that charm, boy, I know you're faking. With that misogyny, you ain't the man you think you will. Miss me with that hypocrisy, your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being me. Miss me with that misogyny. You quote some podcast, call it intellect. But all I see is you begging for respect. You rape our bodies, dismiss our brains, then cry not all men again. Miss me with your tone, miss me with your sigh, miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye, bye, bye. Miss me without misogyny. Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see? I'm the star. You're just an extra, baby. Miss me with that misogyny. Misogyny.
All right, you guys, I will see you around the mean streets. Okay, Bible Guy is live. Trust but Verify is live. Go somewhere and tell them Crystal loves them. And I will see you around the mean streets of TikTok and YouTube. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. I told you, I can never do a good exit. Like, I can't walk out of a room and slam the door because I will, like, fall down or something. And I can't just say goodbye, everybody, and leave. But I love you guys.
I looked at my grandma. I said, "Which fucking one is it?"